name is Katie of GreenlandQuilter, and we have some fun for you tonight. We have Chaunda here. She's come to sew with me, and I am so happy about that because it's been a minute since me and her have sewn together, and I have been looking forward to this. So, Chaunda, you want to tell them what you're going to work on tonight?
Sure.
Tell them about your channel also.
So my name is Chaunda. My channel is Under the Needle. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Basically on my channel, I just do things quilting and crochet related. Everything is pretty organic. Everything is just how I feel. I don't follow any type of structure. It's just however I'm feeling that day, that's what I record. And it's just kind of easy breezy. And that's kind of how I like to keep it. Today, I will be working on a project that I got in the Open Gate Quilt subscription box called Goldenrod. And this is what she looks like.
Oh, that's cute.
So I'll be working on that. And then we also got a Valentine's Day project in that box, and I might work on that as well.
Okay, that's wonderful. Awesome. Okay, and honey, you want to say hello to everybody?
Hi, everyone.
Tell them what you're going to be doing tonight.
I didn't finish my project yesterday. Only missing the roofing part, so I'm going to work on that. Corner garage, Lego set.
Okay, so that's where he is on that, and then you're going to start the jazz club when you finish, right?
Yeah.
If we're still live. All right. Okay, now what am I going to do? So as most of y'all know, I've been talking about doing a tutorial once a week from this here book, 1000 Blocks by Quilt Makers. Now, a lot of you haven't bought this book, or maybe you're having trouble finding this book. I went on Amazon, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. I couldn't find the book, which was kind of odd. But if you put it into Google search, there is other book places that sell this book, and I paid $30 for it when I bought it, and this was in 2015. So, but it has 1000 blocks in it, and I'm mostly going to be concentrating all of my block building on the back half. So to refresh your memory, this book is divided into sections. You have an applique blocks section, foundation piece blocks section, mixed technique blocks, that's another section, pieced blocks, which is where I'm going to mostly work out of. And then in the back of the book, there's a section called settings and yardage. And then there's an index on designers. So what I did, as most of you know, I set up a poll with 4 blocks and asked y'all to vote on which one you liked the best. And then I asked you to comment on why you chose that block. And after a little bit of deliberation and a few comments, because some don't have the block in, because I can't give you the measurements out of this book because that would break copyright rules, and I don't want to get my YouTube channel shut down for it. So we're not going to do that. But I am going to make do a tutorial on a block. So tonight I chose to do the French twist, and this is why. It's very simple. It'll help you guys have a look at something simple enough that you can get your toes wet in it, because I would love to do that really intricate one, but we're going to do that intricate one in the future. You know, probably I might even do it next week, because once a week I'm going to be building a block out of that book. So let me show you the colors that I have chosen to do the French twist. If I don't lose everything first. I keep losing alphabetics. So I'm using like this. These are batiks, in case you didn't realize that. All right. So this white is just a batik white with this little silver gray color in it. Here, let me put it up in front of the camera. This is what it looks like. That's the background. And this is a batik. And then for the darker color, because it uses a light color, a dark color, and the background for this particular pattern. Now you can do it however you want to. So here's my purple, which the camera makes it look like blue. And then I'm using this bluish gray color. So it should be interesting how the effect of it is, because with the French twist, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and we're going to run over to the community tab so you can have a look at the colored pictures that came out of the book, because this don't show you anything because I printed it out black and white because I'm out of color ink and we have not been able to buy any color ink in months. So you do what you gotta do, you know what I mean? Sorry, trying to be funny. And it's not working. Okay, let me go over here to my community tab and then I'll share the screen with y'all in just a second. Got to get there first. Okay, that's upright. Chaunda, you don't have this book, do you?
I don't.
It's a pretty cool book. It has a lot of blocks in it. Some of them are like, wow, I want to make that one. All right, I'm going to share the screen while we're talking. All right, here we go. Okay, let's share the screen. Okay. Can you see it, babe? Do you see it, Chaunda?
Yeah. Yep, I can.
Okay.
And I saw this is what you had on your community your post today, right?
Yeah, it was on my community tab and it's also over on my GreenlandQuilter group. And I was asking people to vote and then explain why they chose the one they did. This one called Above and Beyond, that's the one I want to really do because look how challenging it is. But anyway, I decided to go with the French twist because basically you have 4 half square triangles involved in this block, and then everything else is 2.5-inch blocks. That's it. And it's just putting them down, putting everything together in sectors, and then you sew it all together. So, and it's very simple. So even a beginner can make this block. And it looks like that there's a, where you see the dark running into this, yeah, this half square triangle with the dark in it. It looks like there's something intricate going on there. It's a trick of the mind. So it's going to be fun putting it together. The other two was the railroad crossing and nested bear paw. And based on the stats of this poll and the one in the GreenlandQuilter, the stats are staying within the same range in both areas. A lot of people voted for Above and Beyond, and then the French twist came into second. Bear paw came in third, and the railroad crossing in fourth. But listen to this. Several people made a comment that they liked the railroad crossing because of the movement in it. Because it's got 2 different things going on at the same time. And I agree with that. So all of these blocks are going to get made on tutorials. So next week, I'll pick another one. We'll make it next week. And then the following week, we'll make number 3. And then the following week, we'll make number 4. And then I'll go back into the book and pick 4 more for you to vote on and choose which ones. Some have the book, some don't. Now, I will say this, and I don't know if this is allowed to be said. If you're mathematically skilled, you could figure out these blocks yourself as far as sizes. Just saying. Because I can look at it and I can say, like with this, I'm not gonna tell you what size this is. But if I didn't have the measurement and I wanted to make, say, a smaller block, I could go to 1.5 and then base everything around that 1.5. If I wanted to go bigger, say 4.5, you could start out with this 4.5, and all you would have to do to figure out to get this is going to be a half square triangle, by the way. To get these half square triangles to be the same size as this, you just got to do the math. That's it. And then you just set up the block. So it depends on, how skilled you are with that. Me, I can visually see it. It's just a matter of sitting down and figuring out what size I would have to make this if I didn't have the measurements. Does that make sense? I hope so. Anyone talking in the chat?
No idea.
Okay. Hey, Lori. And hello, Judy. And hello, Pat. I'm not sure who else is in here yet. And looks like so far. Hey, Sherry. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do first, as you can see, I have already cut everything out. I'm going to take this purple and this white, and we're going to make half square triangles together. So what I need to start out doing first is I need to draw the lines to go through here so that I can make the half square triangle. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. Let me get my ruler, and I'll show you how I'm going to do the lines so that no one gets confused.
I am also making half square triangles.
Oh, are you? Okay, cool.
Got my lines already drawn.
Yay! So I'm going to draw the lines on the back of the block or squares, like what you saw on Chaunda's. And I need to sharpen a pencil because I don't have any more. You know, all those friction pens, Chaunda, I have a few of them. But you know, if you don't use them, guess what happens to them?
Did they dry out?
All of them did. And I have 10,
no.
I have 10 of them. So no more buying friction pins. It just means I don't use them enough. That's the problem.
You know, I might have that problem too, because you know, I tend to use one.
Yep.
One or two, and then the rest are just kind of put up somewhere.
Yeah, for backup. You might want to check them because when I went through all of mine are dead. Every last one of them. Okay. And I don't mind using a lead pencil because, you know, they're not going to show up unless you make a mess of it anyway. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line my ruler up. All rulers have this 1/4 inch right here. And usually it has like a frosting on it like this one does. And all I'm going to do is line that 1/4 inch seam allowance line from corner to corner of my block, and then I'm going to draw a line on each side of that solid, or on each side of that area. And I'm using a lead pencil, so I'm just going to go through here lightly. I'm not going to get carried away and make a hot mess of it. The lead pen, because by the time you put the seam in, you're not even going to see it. And I don't know, does lead wash out of fabric? I'm assuming it does. And now let me show you. I have 2 lines, but I did not draw a center line because it's not going to matter. Because I'll take my ruler and cut down the center. So I have 2 lines drawn. Okay, now I'm going to do both of them that way. All right. I'm a little nervous tonight because this is my first live tutorial. I've done a couple tutorials that are pre-recorded, but I haven't exactly spent a lot of time practicing on a live. So y'all bear with me on this one. I think I'll be fine. And if I make a mistake, that's okay. This is part of learning. I just want to have fun. Girls want to have fun. Guys want to have fun. Okay, got the lines drawn? Uh-oh. Huh. Uh-oh, I have blood on my babe.
Yeah.
I need you. Paper towel, quick, quick, quick. I am bleeding all over the floor. You ever see my foot?
Yeah.
It's bleeding on the carpet.
You poke yourself?
I did.
Oh. Poke it out.
Sorry, guys. I dropped a pen on the floor and then turned around and stepped on it. So now there's blood on the carpet. A lot of blood.
You still have that pin in your foot?
No, I took it out. It didn't even have a head on it, which means that I broke the pin. Okay, sorry about that. I don't normally do that. Okay. Same happened to my friction pen, says Sherry. See, so it must be some. Maybe they're not designed to sit around and not be used. I don't know. I do know that they were never designed to be on fabric to start with. That's not what the company who makes friction pins intended them to be used for to start with. So that's why they don't guarantee their product for people using it on fabric and it not coming off. It was never designed for that. Okay. So I have my line strong. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this dark purple and we're going to put the fabric face up for both of them. And then we're going to turn, we want the lines that we've drawn on the back of the white to be face up so you can see them. And then just align your squares so that they're squared up like they're supposed to be. And I need to get this big thing off my table. I knocked something off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and line both blocks up. Then I'm also going to have to change my sewing machine foot because we're going to be sewing diagonally across this fabric pieces. The ink is disappearing, Sherry says. Yeah, mine are like there's nothing in them. And they didn't leak out. It's the oddest thing. So I guess they dried out. Is what's happened to them. Okay, let's get my foot changed. We'll set the machine to the center or the needle to the center. And I like using these. This is a foot that I have come to like a lot. It's an open-toed acrylic foot. And it is very open so you can see what you're doing when you're sewing on lines. Okay, and lower the stitch. All right. Now I am going to use a leader so that I don't get in a fight with sticking that point in here. So Chaunda, how's things been going on where you live at?
You mean weather-wise?
Yeah.
It's been great now. Like we had, because I live in North Carolina. I live right outside of Raleigh. And we normally have pretty mild winters, like really mild. And so we just had a stretch where it was like, it like never got above like 40 degrees. And that's just not normal for us. Like we get cold days, but it'll be cold for a couple of days and then it'll be like 60 or 70. So for us to have like 2-3 weeks straight where it was just cold every day was not normal. I did not enjoy it. And I'm glad we're back to our regular weather. I think today was like 55.
Oh, nice. What about the summertime? Is it really hot in the summertime there, or is it temperate? Like
oh no, it's hot and humid.
Hot and humid.
It's hot and humid.
Yeah, because when I was there in February, I thought it was nice. It was a little, I didn't bring winter clothes. I left all my snow clothes behind. And I thought I had enough warm clothes with me, but I was a little bit cold when I was there this past year.
Yeah, like you definitely need a jacket, but like as someone who was born and raised in New York, I don't need the kind of coat that I would have had up there down here. For the most part, I just throw on a sweater or a hoodie.
Yeah, that's what it was. I needed a lined hoodie or a flannel shirt would have worked.
Yeah, something like that. And that's the weather that you had for QuiltCon last year. That's our normal weather. That's our weather.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So when it gets really, really cold and it stays cold, like that's not normal for us. And I did not like it.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, now I have sewn both lines and I'll show it to you because you'll be able to see it on the back. See, I have, well, maybe. It should be showing pretty good with this camera. See the lines? Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut on the diagonal straight through the middle. And then we'll have 2 half square triangles. All right. And all you got to do is just line your ruler up point to point to cut down the center. Oh, what do I do with my rotary cutter? Okay, so we got 2 there because we're going to be using 4 half square triangles in this block. All right. Now I probably am going to press the seams open on these so that I can get good alignment with this block. Now you do not have to do it that way. You can press to the dark side and leave it there that way. I have to look at this block a little bit. I might, we'll see. Actually, technically, I don't have to. Yeah, I'm not going to have to worry about the diagonal seam being pressed open. I can leave it. So I'm just going to press these to the dark side. Let's go to the dark side. Babe, oh, you can't see how many people are. Never mind. I should have brought the laptop in here so we can see how many people are watching. Because right now I only see 4 people in here.
I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat since you're teaching.
Okay. So all I'm doing is I am finger pressing to start with, and I'm using a seam roller. And then after I get them open the way I want them, then I'll go over to the iron and just press them. Not iron them, just press them. Put some heat to it so it can finish making it lay down flat. And then what I'll do is cut the little extensions off so that they're not there in the way. Or what people call buggy is. Honey.
Whoops, sorry.
I don't know if she heard that or not.
I didn't.
Good. That's embarrassing.
It happens, you know, it had to get out.
Yeah, but people don't.
I know. It was unintentionally, though.
People get offended over stuff like that. Don't they, Chaunda?
All the time.
You don't do it in front of people. You go outside and do it.
People sensitivity.
I don't know, babe. It's like burping. Boy, will you get screamed at if you burp out loud. Especially if you didn't say excuse me when it happened.
I know. Definitely.
That's considered being rude. I wonder who came up with all these etiquette rules anyway.
I don't know.
Trump.
We're not doing politics, babe.
I know, I'm just teasing out.
You don't even want to get me started on that subject. I don't know. I think I should look it up and see who came up with the etiquette rules. It'd be interesting to see how far back the etiquette went.
Probably.
I know they have like those books and stuff like that. I mean, some of it probably goes back to like Victorian era.
Probably.
Probably.
And I'm like, who made them the voice of the people to say, you can't fart in public or you can't burp in public? And don't use the word fart and you get a dirty look. It's past
gas.
Yep. Your Southern religion says you must use past gas. You cannot use the F word. And I don't mean to F on you guys. I'm talking about passing gas.
Well, the F part, it's in Danish like speed.
The word speed?
Yeah.
It's kind of
the word speed.
Yeah.
In Danish is part.
It's kind of like the word Satan means the SH word.
Part. No.
Yeah. I'm like, they use the word Satan to use the SHI word. Here in Greenland, that word, the SH word, is so funny. It's just like the first time I heard a Greenlander use it, I'm like, wait, what did you just say? Because I couldn't believe my ears. But sure enough, it's like no big deal to talk about that kind of thing. As Nikolaj points out, it's a fact of nature. Okay, so I have removed the dog ears off of these blocks, and we now have more. What were you going to say, Chaunda?
Sorry, that's. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Hey, Pat Boo, how are you doing? Hello, Alicia. And hi, Michelle. Welcome, welcome. So I have made 4 of these half square triangles now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out part of this block so that you can, or one quadrant of it, so you can see what it's supposed to look like. Okay. All right. So what we need to do is we're going to need one of these, which is the gray. And then, because we're going to be building a 4-patch is what we're going to be doing. And I'll show you on this design board what it's supposed to look like. Because it's called a French twist. And what it looks like it has done as it, wait a minute. I'm the one telling you wrong. Oh, I put that in the wrong spot. Okay. I got to pay attention to where I'm putting these, which color to use for these 4 patches. So let me get this all set up properly. Then we're going to put one on each side. Okay. And then we're going to take this half square triangle and put it here. And then, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one quadrant, which is a quarter of the block, okay, of how this should be set up. And then I'll explain how it's going to go together. Okay, this is what one quadrant should look like. So you have half square triangle here. You have the dark purple, which is what makes this the French twist. Then you have your background white, and then the gray is on each side of that. And the way we're going to sew this together is we're going to take these two and sew them together, sew these two together. But first, after we've done that, then what we're going to do is we're going to take the 2 that we've sewn here and sew it to the half square. Then, after we've done that, we're going to sew this corner block to the 2 that we've sewn down here, which makes a longer strip that's going to join from here to here. Everybody understand what I just said? Hey, Donnell, did that make sense, Chaunda?
Yes, it makes sense to me.
Okay. Apologies for the feedback. Oh no, don't worry about the feedback. It's okay. All right, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to sew these 2 together first, okay? And I'm going to set all my extra blocks side out of the way. And we need to switch foots again. And we're going to go back to the 1/4 inch foot. And then I'm going to switch my machine to sew 1/4 inch. And then put a leader in. Okay. Now I like to chain piece. So I'm going to, when I sew these first 2 together, I'm also going to do the same thing on the other side so that I already have it done. If anyone doesn't know what chain piecing is, let me know in the chat and I'll explain what I mean by that. But I think everybody in here already, hey, Mary G, welcome, welcome. If you have a channel, make sure you type !selfie to share your channel link. And Chaunda, if you want to do it again, you can, or I can do it, whichever, because I've already shared your link once. Okay, so now I've sewn two of the 2.5-inch block or squares together to make two of them. So I'm gonna take them and we're gonna finger press and use a little seam roller. Okay. And this is gonna go up here. And then we're gonna put, okay, so now what I've done, and I'll show you what I've done. Let me get them all laid on here on this design board properly. So you'll see what I've done. So I have now sewn the gray to the white on both sides. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to sew this one to the side of this half square triangle. Ah, it worked good. Good. I need to make a, we don't even have a, it doesn't look like we have a moderator in here tonight. Does it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, if we get into trouble, I'm going to have to hire somebody. Could make Nikolaj, but he can't see the chat because I forgot to set the other laptop up so he could see the chat. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm pinning this. I'm a pen user. You do not have to use a pen if you do not want to. You can freebie it or free it the way you want. I like to use them because it keeps me from making a boo-boo. Okay, I've sewn that. I definitely need to clean my machine, babe, because this cutter is not doing what it's supposed to be doing, which means there's probably little dust bunnies up there. Okay, now I've sewn this to the half square, and I am going to press it toward the 2.5-inch little half patch.
Finally done with it.
So instead of pressing it toward the half square triangle, I'm pressing it out. You've already finished it?
Yep.
You want to show it? Or you want to show it later?
I think I'll show it later.
Okay.
Because I just start with the chest club now.
Well, do you want to show them what the chess club looks like? I mean, jazz club. I don't know why you said chess. Hang on. Now, he's going to show you what he just finished the corner garage where he'll show it to you right before we end the live. But let me show you what he's going to start on. He's going to start on the jazz club. Wait a minute.
I know.
All right, now put it in front of the camera.
That's it. That's how the chest club
Wow.
looks like.
You want to show them the back? So this can be tied into other creator pieces. So which ones on there do you have?
All of them.
He has all of these.
Wow.
I have the hotel. This is the hotel, and this is the jazz club, and this is the police station. I got them all.
What's in between the?
I don't think I have that one.
I was gonna say I was wondering what that one was.
It's part of the jazz club, I think.
Oh, is it?
It is part of the
Oh, it's
jazz
part of the jazz club?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Gotcha. All right. So since I got spotlight on, this is where I am on this block so far. Okay.
2,899 pieces.
All right, let me turn the spotlight back off. Hey, Laura Lynn, welcome. Okay, so I've already sewn these two together. So what I'm going to do now, something's wrong. Oh, I got it turned the wrong way. Oh, I need to make sure I'm turning.
Oh boy.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew that corner block onto the two that I've sewn together already. which is this dark purple, because part of this French twist is this purple, darker color running through the corner of these blocks. So let me go ahead and do that one first, because right now we're building one quadrant at the moment.
Okay, what's the name of that block again?
It's called French twist.
Okay. I realize we're both wearing red today.
Huh?
I realize we're both wearing red today.
Oh, yeah, we are. We didn't even plan that either.
Nope.
Okay, I've sung that on here, and then I'm going to finger press it, and I want to make sure that I'm going to try, let's see, since I decided not to press the seam open, I'm going to make sure that when I press this, I'm going to make sure that this seam is going the opposite direction, and I'll turn this over so you can see what I'm talking about when we're talking about nesting. Okay. And we're going to spotlight so I can give y'all up close and personal. Okay. So what I've done is I pressed, when I sewed these two and a half to this half square, I pressed it toward those two smaller blocks. See? Now, when I sewed this one to this one, I turned the seam going this way because you want to nest these two right here. I don't have to worry about what direction this goes in because it's not nesting with anything. We just have to worry about this seam. Now, I could, if I wanted to, because I like pressing seams open, I could press this whole thing open and not worry about this nesting. But let's see if I can get it to line up properly. So let's go ahead. We're going to sew this to this whole piece down here. Okay. And that'll be one quadrant made of the block. Do you want to turn them face to face? And the only seam that we need to be worrying about is the two right here. These two. This side and this side. These two have to line up. This other seam, you don't have to worry about it. Hey, Barb. Hello, Marin. Hello, Lori Colgan. Lori says, Katie, I see the orca. Yep, there it is. Its mouth is closed right now, though. I'm waiting for Rita to come in and her notice it. It's a joke, Chaunda, about the orca. So when my husband was building the block, the ship the other day, it came with the orca. He came in here and he snapped my ear with the orca. It's got teeth on it. So it took the orca away from him. Children will play, right? How you doing, Laura Lynn? Hope all is good in your world. How's the weather up there, by the way? It has been cold here, let me tell you. It has been so cold. I have been here 14 years and I have never seen ice in the fjord created by how cold it is here. The only time you see sea ice is when it just happens the mosiest way from up north to us. But the whole fjord had ice on it and the harbor was totally frozen. That's how cold it's been. Am I bothered by it? Not really. But right now we're at 17 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's warmed up. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a pin and I'm going to put it through the seam on this side, somewhere right at what I estimate what is 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to put it through that seam of the opposite side so that I can get this nesting to match up. And then what you want to do is you can peel it back just a little bit and see if you got your two seams lined up, which I do. And I'm going to lay it back down and then I'm going to pin it so it can't move. because I'm not good at nesting. I'm good at doing open seams, but I'm not so good at nesting. And then I'll go ahead and pin this other down on this side while I'm on this side, and then I'm going to turn it around and do the other side. That way I make sure I have it pinned on both sides. So what is everybody working on tonight? Are you sewing, or are you just sitting and chilling and listening to me talk? Laura Lynn, you can share your channel by typing exclamation selfie in the chat. All right, now we're going to sew this. All right, now I've gotten this sewn. Let's see if I got the seam to line up. If it's lined up, then I won't have to do anything else to this part of it. If it's not lined up, then I will show you how to fix it. And it's lined up. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it over to the iron, and I'm going to press it toward the outside of the block. And so this is one quadrant. So let me go ahead and press it. This chair keeps.
Go down.
Yep.
Down.
Donnell, what items are you working on for your sale?
Sale.
Donnell's having some kind of sale.
Ah.
I think she does that once or twice a month. I don't know, she might do it every month, but I just wasn't aware of it. I mean, every week. Not sure. Okay. We have done the bottom left quadrants, what I've done. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it on this bigger design board, because we're going to start doing the other three quadrants. If you have any questions, let me know, okay? So here's the first quadrant. This is the bottom left quadrant. That's what this and all you're making is 4 of these. So only thing that's of any major concern for a newbie would be these half squares. That's it. Okay, so let's get the other 3 quadrants made. All right. You just have to make sure that you got these triangles going in the right direction when you're building the blocks as well. That way you don't get yourself all turned around. Because leave it up to me, I will. Because that's how easy I am to get confused.
Instructed, you couple.
Also, I don't, hang on a second. I want to show you something. The other thing that's different about this block is you'll notice that, okay, I showed you how this bottom quadrant has this half square triangle up here with the solid corner block. But when you go to the top or the opposite corner running parallel, you'll see that they've turned that half square triangle around. So you have 2 that's like this, and then you're going to have 2 where the half square triangle has been turned around and the twist part is on the inside. So you have to pay attention to that part. I finished my project. I finished the project, saw you're on, so watching you make the block. Yay! Okay, so we're going to make the top left, which is going to be, the half square will be turned around like this, okay? So let me line up all the other blocks to go with it. Okay. It's going to be that purple here. And then we're going to put the backgrounds on both sides. And then I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. Because we're going to, this one's different than the one I just finished. As you saw, I had already sewed the half square triangles together, so that part has been done for all 4 of them. Okay. Then we're going to put the gray on here. And then I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. And then we'll sew all of those together. All right. Okay, so this is what we'll be piecing next. So basically we'll be making 2 that look like this and 2 that look like this one that I've already sewn together. Hey, Tasha. So let's go ahead and sew this one, and then we'll work on getting the other 2 made. I might as well, yeah, hang on a second. Might as well do 2 of these at a time. And I'll leave the one to do. That way I don't get confused. Because it's very easy for me to get confused when it comes to angles. So how has everybody's day been today? I hope you've been having a good day. I hope everybody's healthy and happy and been enjoying life today. Okay, all right. Get that purple up here. And then we're going to make 2 of the same block. And that'll leave me with number 3, the very 4th one to finish. Where's the other half square triangle at? Uh-oh.
Wouldn't be the first time somebody lost a HST.
Oh, come on. Where did it go? Oh, I found it. I was about to have a fit. I'm like, wait a minute. Where'd it go?
Those things just get missing.
Yes, they do. It's like they hatch wings and fly away. All right. So again, I'm going to sew 2 of the 2.5 inches together first and chain piece. And since I'm going to do 2 of these blocks at the same time, I'll go ahead and do all 4 of them. And that'll save a little bit of time. If you get confused, let me know though. Pat says she got her papers from Fat Quarter Shop today, so she can start on them. So I'm happy to hear that. Yay. I posted the link as soon as I got the email telling me that they were back in stock, so that if anybody didn't have, because I didn't know if everybody knew you could set the, when Fat Quarter Shop runs out of something, or Missouri Star, you can ask them to send you an email and let you know when the product comes back into stock. So I had gone over there to do that because someone had told me that they had ran out of the papers for the Star Climber that Sean and I are doing together. And I signed my email up for it so that I could get notification so I could let you guys know when they were back in stock. I think it's interesting that they were $10.98 on Fat Quarter Shop's webpage, but they were $9.98 on the It's So Emma's webpage. I thought that was weird. So they must have went up on them or something. I assumed that she was having these papers made here in the United States, not out, like overseas. I don't know. I have to look at the paper and see if it says made in the USA or not.
Which papers are you using?
The courthouse stairs papers and the woven star paper.
See if I have those handy.
Huh?
Let's see if I have them handy. I've got quite a few of these.
Yeah, because that's all you need to make that star climber.
So the
If you're
woven
gonna-
star.
If that is, if you're going to paper piece. Now, Sean's going to do it the traditional and not use paper at all.
Yeah, these are all made in the USA.
And it shouldn't have went up on price unless paper went up. Which that could have happened. Paper went up.
Yeah. And even if these are made in the USA, there could be materials sourced from other places.
This is true. You're very true on that one. That is a good point. I hadn't thought of that. I know all our fabric is sourced from overseas.
I know.
And I'm dreading what I'm going to see price-wise happen because it may take my hobby out altogether. It's going to make me cry.
Well, Katie, I've got enough to share, so.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm just so worried about it because, you know, money's been tight. Because we were helping my son he's our son. He's not my son anymore. Nikolaj's stepdaddy, so you might as well say dad. Thomas is doing so good though. Y'all have no idea how relieved I am that he's doing so good. He's liking his job. Everything's going well with his job. The only real problem that keeps rearing its ugly head is single women with children have many programs that they can participate in to get child care for their child. But guess who doesn't have those same programs? Men who are raising their children with no moms. So in Georgia, they have a couple different breaks that the students get off from school, and one's approaching quickly this month. It's called the winter break one. And right now, we're trying to find a way to have childcare so that he can work. Because whenever Blaze was sick today, so Thomas had to stay home from work.
Where in Georgia is he?
Carrollton.
I'm not sure where that is.
That's it's on the west side of Atlanta.
Got you. Okay.
I'm not sure what
I don't know nobody that far out.
Yeah, because he's about an hour from Powder Springs. And the reason Christine can't take him is because she was already signed up for a quilt retreat, so she's going to be out of town. So we're running into that problem. So every time Blaze is sick, Thomas can't send him to school sick. So that means Thomas has to take off from work. And, you know, Thomas's job is very new. But his employer so far has been accommodating. The company he worked for is called Tanner Grocery something. And they have been in business for, listen to this, Chaunda, 140 years.
That's a long time.
Yes. And the workforce, Thomas says that he hasn't run into anyone that's not been kind. All of them have been kind. Most of them have children. His boss has children, and so every time Thomas has had to call in because Blaze has been out sick, or there's a teacher work day, any of those kind of things, which happens a lot. You know, Thomas can't just leave him at home. He's 8 years old. He can't leave him at home by himself.
Right.
Especially when he's in government housing. I guess that's what that's considered, that little apartment. But yeah, he's doing really good. I'm really happy about that.
I know it's got to be a relief.
Yeah, it is. His demeanor has changed a lot. He doesn't seem so stressed. You can hear it in his voice sometimes when he's having a bad day, you know. He suffers from depression and stuff, but the social workers and everyone that's been working with him, he's seeing a therapist on a regular basis, help him deal with all the trauma caused by his son's mother, and and also the loss of his dad, because he really never faced up to that either. And I think that's why he made all the life choices he made, is because he was never over the suicide of his dad. And
yeah, that can be. I can't even imagine how difficult that is to work through. So
yeah, he was 17 and his sister was 16, and my oldest one, she was 19 when that happened, and so two of them were in high school, and it was hard on all of us because their daddy left us with a lot of wreckage, and the wreckage is still there, but the girls seem to be doing good. They're not struggling, and he's just had a longer struggle of it because everybody handles things differently from other people. Some people can just pick themselves up and move on like nothing ever happened, and then other people can't.
sometimes I think, unfortunately, things are easier for women sometimes because we're allowed to be sad.
Yep.
In a way that men aren't.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, men are supposed to be strong and brave and all those manly macho things that they're trained to do. They're not supposed to be seen, or they consider it. Would you say that maybe they're viewed as being weak if they show it?
yes.
And I think that's tough on a guy to have to live with that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like it's not even just like you can't show it. It's like almost like sometimes they're made to feel like they're not even allowed to feel sadness.
Yep.
Like I'm not supposed to be sad because I'm a manly man, and I'm like, well, that's just not reality. People hurt.
No, it's not, and you're right. And being a boy and losing your dad the way he lost him, because that father figure was gone at a really at an age where he needed a dad. Think about this. I mean, I'm a mother. Moms can only mom boys so much, but that man is the one that talks about personal things like the birds and the bees, and how to treat a woman, and how to treat human beings, and how you're supposed to work hard and be a productive human being. These are all taught from a patriarchal side, not all of it, but a lot of it is.
Yep. Men and women have their struggles, Some things are easier for women and some things are easier for men,
Yep. I mean, women have had it the toughest if you think about it. But
oh yeah.
I also think that women are made of tough stuff, if you ask me.
We have to be.
Because you got to raise a family, and you got to cook, and you got to run a household. And nowadays, you got a lot of women work now outside the household. And so there's that. And it's a lot. And I remember when I was going to college and taking care of 3 kids, young kids, and taking care of the house and taking care of the bills and putting dinner on the table and running errands I don't even know how I held down 18 credit hours with a 3.5 GPA. I was tutoring students, belonged to 3 clubs. Sometimes I took the kids to school with me so I could work. And I was going to class full time and all this other stuff. I don't even know how the heck I did it.
I'm with you on that. I didn't have quite as much going on, but I had a lot going on when my kids were small, as
Yep.
far as places to go and things like that. And honestly, I think that's why I'm so incredibly lazy now. I just feel like I did all
Yep.
my running back then,
Exactly.
and I don't want to do it anymore. So
Yep. It's like I don't want all that pressure again. Yep. You know, and taking your children to school has its own dangers. You know, I had my oldest daughter with me when I was working in the greenhouse, and she's a small girl because she's a small stature. She's 5'2" as an adult. And so back then when she was 11 or 12 and she was in the greenhouse and she was standing by the greenhouse door, which happened to open in. And the person who came barreling through the door didn't see her because she's so short. And the doorknob popped her right in the mouth
wow.
and broke her tooth. The same tooth that my mother broke with a hairbrush in my mouth. Brought back memories when I saw her tooth like that. And back then, you know, when I took her to the dentist says, well, she's still in adolescent stage because even though she was close to her 12th birthday when it happened, her body age was still younger. And so he told me, he says, I can't cap that tooth, but I can put what we call a Band-Aid on it. And that Band-Aid may stay on there for as long as it doesn't pop off, she'll be fine. She still has that Band-Aid.
What?
She's fixing to turn 38. She's not gone to the dentist to have it capped, and it still has the Band-Aid on the tooth.
That's wild.
Isn't it though? It's crazy.
But they sure don't make things like they used to, because I guarantee you it wouldn't last that long if somebody put one on today.
No, it wouldn't. Tuber Chat was just in here. He is. Is he still in here? Hey, Kevin, if you're still in here, let me see if you're still in here. I didn't even see him stroll in.
I didn't know what Tuber Chat was. I thought it was like another
Oh, he's here, all right.
algorithm thing.
So here, you need to, if you can keep up with it. Okay, Tuber Chat is a channel that helps promote small channels like you and I have. And you come in and you get to know everyone in there, and the channel speeds, if that makes sense. Have you ever done internet relay chat when the internet first started?
No.
Okay, well, I come from that era where you learn how to type fast and you keep up with everything people are saying. And so the channel moves quite fast. But if you engage in the chat, get to know people, talk to people, and he sees you're active in the chat, and he has this little spinny wheel thing. And when he's gone through people who have paid, who like donated super chat or whatever, channels go up and he promotes those channels. But once he's done with that, the people who are still chatting in the channel that hasn't, you know, did a super chat or doesn't have a membership, then he starts putting their channels up. And this is how come my channel's been growing, is because he promotes all these little channels.
Gotcha.
It helps a small channel out. And I have been running into Mona in there. I've run into a few quilters these days that have started coming in there, and it seems to be helping all our channels. And Kevin's a really nice guy.
Okay.
It's just that the channel, when you go sit through one of his lives, you'll see what I mean. I'll send you a link with the next scheduled live he's going to do, and just come sit with me, and then you'll see what I mean about it speeding. But you'll get it figured out if you decide to hang around. And all you basically got to do is say hi and say hi to people, and then he sees you talking, and that's how your channel gets promoted. He has some kind of the bot, I guess the bot is programmed to see who's engaging, and that's how he's able to see your channel. Because sometimes he'll miss, sometimes you can say hi to him and he hasn't seen it, but his bot has seen it. I'm change piecing right now, so I'm fixing to show y'all where I am on the next two pieces of the block. So just bear with me here. And then that'll leave me with one more to piece, and then we can put all 4 quadrants together. I stumbled onto his channel because his, you know how you get the news feed on your YouTube channel? And it'll show you people being active, and then there'll be some channels shown to you that you may never have been to, and you're like, what channel is this? His came across my news feed one day, and I'm like, what's this? Because it says promotes small channels, and I'm like, what does that mean? So I went and I looked, and that's what he was doing, promoting small channels.
I think that's a
he
pretty
has some
neat idea.
Yeah, and he's done some interviews with a couple of 2 or 3 channels who started out little like us, who have grown up above the 10,000 mark, and so he's interviewed them, and they give you advice on what they did to help their channel grow. And Kevin also gives you advice on what you can do to help your channel grow. Different little things that you can do to help speed things along if you want a little bit.
Gotcha. That's actually pretty neat.
It is very neat. And sometimes he'll tell you something, I'm like, I didn't know that. And then you go look and you're like, oh, he's right, it is there. Because sometimes you don't know that there's things in your settings that you can do to make your video seen better. Do I leave that? Do you think that that's okay, or should I move it? Should I move it?
Should I stay or should I go?
That looks pretty clean to me.
Okay. Let me see if the other one looks like that. See, it's interesting because sometimes the one that looks like it's just off by one thread, then you get one where it's straight up and down over the top of each other. See that?
Yep.
But if it doesn't look like it's off to you, then I'll leave it alone.
I'm not really a perfect quilter though. So.
Well, I'm not striving for perfection here, and I'm not going to preach perfection. I just like being as close as I can get to being accurate. Okay, let me back up here. We've missed some chat, looks like. Hey, Kathy. Kathy says, I am hoping to have enough fabric to last year's, but if I don't, I have my grandma's quilt tops to inspect and repair. Oh, that's fun. And then she says, CCAP in Louisiana, it doesn't matter if it is a mother or a father. Yeah, see, in Georgia, if you're homeless, which Thomas was, they have homeless shelters for women and children. They do not have shelters for men with children, period. They have men's shelters, but they cannot take a child in there. Judy says, I went shopping today and hit the sale section in one of the fabric stores I buy from. I decided to stock up on sale fabrics for my retirement years, and prices may go up. That's a good idea. If you can afford it, go for it. Then Chaunda says, I was going to destash, but changed my mind due to rising price. Yeah, hang on to what you got. Quilty Beard Pierce. Oh, Alicia says, I will have to try for channel as well. And then Andrea says, howdy to everyone. Hey, Andrea, who come in since my first howdy. I am working on writing the woven star pattern. I have been working on it all day. So see, Andrea created the courthouse stairs, the 6-inch one, that's that you can use for Star Climber. If you want to piece it instead, no, if you want to paper piece it, she created her own pattern. So, and I posted it over on my Facebook group, so you can download it. Then all you have to do is print them. It's in a PDF format. Alicia says, Andrea, are you still needing testers? And then Andrea says, Alicia, I always need testers. Katie, Katie can give you my email? Yes, hold on. Let me go get Andrea's email, because she takes testers. Andrea, are you any closer to us getting to do that next test group or no? Mama J. Hey, Andrea, I have your, wait a minute. Andrea, is it okay to give the one that says Andrea Yami on it? I hope so, because I'm about to give it. Here is Andrea's email if you want to be a tester, and I hope this is the right one, because that's what I have in my private email, Andrea, or I mean Living Greenland web email. Hey, John here, welcome, welcome, and he says hello, honey.
Hi, John.
And Andrea says, if you're talking about the woven star blocks, traditional piece pattern, she's doing the traditional, yeah. Okay, let me go press these real quick. Should I go? Oh, now that song is in my brain. Oh my gosh.
Should I stay? Should I go?
Yeah. Why does that stop? It's that same song. Dang it.
Clash. Should I stay or should I go? Got you hooked to it again.
Yes, you did. Now it's gonna not escape my brain anytime soon. Okay, now I'll show you what these look like, and then we're gonna have one more to do before we sew this together. All right, I'm gonna turn this one. Okay, here's where we are so far. It's starting to come together.
So it's that 3 quadrants completed?
Yep. So you see how this was turned the other direction. So when I do this one over here, it's going to be the same as this, only flip the other direction to match with this one here. And then when I get that one made, then we'll sew all 4 quadrants together. Hey, Jess, welcome, welcome. Hey, Giovanna, it's good to see you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this last one done. All right, so we're going to put the purple in the corner. Yep. And then this is going to be a super cute block, I think. What do you think about the colors I'm using?
Can't go wrong with blue.
No.
Blues and purples are some of my favorite colors to sew in.
Yeah, because in the book it used cream, gray, and purple. And this is like a blue-gray color, this one that looks blue.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a bluish gray, but the camera doesn't see it like that. And the camera thinks this purple is a blue purple, and it's not. It's weird how it does that. Okay, so this is the last quadrant, and I'll remind you of what we're doing. We're going to sew these. We're going to sew these 2 together and these 2 together first. And then I'm going to join this one to the half square triangle. And I'm going to sew this corner one to these 2. And then I'll join all 3 of these to this whole piece right here. That's all you got to do. And then when I get these done, then I'll show you how to sew all of them together. And I'm going to chain piece so I can save a little time.
So I might have missed some stuff in the beginning, Katie, but are you doing like a block each week, each month?
Yeah, every week I'll be taking a block. I think that's how I scheduled it on my schedule. Let me make sure. Because I have everything scheduled out. every other week I'll be doing the 1,000 block tutorial.
Okay.
So this is the first one. This is number 1. And then on the 21st, I'll do it again. So it'll be on the first Thursday and third Thursday of every month. It'll do the 1,000 block. And I'll probably do it all the way till December, and then I'll figure out, unless I just realize, we need to sew some of these blocks together.
I was gonna say, you're gonna put them together like a sampler, or?
Yeah, like a sampler. Yep. So these colors are not all going to be this blue and gray. I'm going to be just
Wrapping it up.
Yeah, I'm going to make it all neat and colorful. I wish I had enough yardage to do this. I have enough yardage to do the purple part of it, but if I had enough of this, I think this blue and purple quilt would be pretty. Just doing all of it in that same color.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have enough of this particular blue-gray. But sometimes when I buy, sometimes I'll buy like a half yard or either a fat quarter so I can see what it looks like, because sometimes cameras tricks your eyeballs. And then when I got it, I'm like, oh, I want some more of this. And when I went back to order some more, guess what? There wasn't anymore.
Doesn't that just hurt your feelings?
It does. I'm like, really? So I wasn't the only one that liked that fabric then. But because I live out of the country, it takes twice as long for me to see it to determine if I want to buy more yardage, Because I don't want to buy yardage that I'm going to hate.
Yeah, I definitely have some yardage I hate in my stash.
Yeah. Or the colors just, when you got it, it wasn't what you thought it was, Now I have some yardage of a couple things. One of them I really like. It's a really dark blue, but it has cream flowers. It's a batik, but I can't figure out what to use it for. So there's that. And then I have a black one that's similar. And I'm not so sure I like the black all that much, because the black is not vibrant. It's like a flat black. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what do you use a flat? Because I don't know if you can get away with using a flat back with something that's vibrant. Unless you're just wanting to showcase all the vibrant and the flat is just there to accommodate that, maybe.
I think you'd have to find the right something,
Yep. Okay.
Giovanna still in the chat?
Joy T?
Giovanna.
Yeah, she's here.
Oh.
I need that paper.
Giovanna, I'm sure you are from Italy, right?
She is. You have to wait for the.
I know. Around 30 seconds to wait.
Yeah, they're at delay.
30 seconds delay.
Unless she stepped away from her computer.
Could be.
Or she's watching a live besides ours.
Oh, watching TV.
There she is.
Ah, there. I have to sorry to you because I have stolen one of your vehicles. That is the Vespa. I think it's an Italian made.
Oh my god.
That's cute.
Just like, tell me. Stick it back up there so she can see it again. Here, let me spotlight it. So everybody can see this Vespa, because I didn't even know what a Vespa was.
I do know what a Vespa is. Weren't they like big in like France and stuff?
I think it's Italian small scooter. I'm not exactly sure, but I think I've seen that.
I've only seen them like on American.
Yeah, like I said,
they always try to pick a Vespa.
She says, yes, Vespa is.
Well, I've stolen one of your vehicles. It's right here. And you cannot have it back. Sorry.
You're such a tease. Judy says that's cute. I'm just, some of these creator sets have the coolest little things in them. She says, we still have them, honey.
I know. I just want to tell her that I have stolen one of them.
Yep, he stole one of them, Giovanna. Mr. Prankster. She says, that is okay. You can keep it. Gotta have a little fun, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, now we got that part done. Okay, so what I've done, let me show you where I am. I went ahead and I have sewn the 3 2.5-inch blocks together to make the longer strip. And then I've taken the two that were just the two together and I have sewn them to the half square. Uh-oh. Oh no. I think I sewed it on the wrong side. Just leave it up to me to mess something up. Wait, maybe I didn't. Oh, yes, I did. No, I didn't. I was about to say, wait a minute, what's wrong with this picture?
Make up your mind.
I know. Okay, so what I bet what she's barking at is she hears an animal outside.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, so what I've done, like I said, is I sewn 2 to this half square triangle here. And I sewed this purple to the other 2 of these, and now we have one long strip. So now that I've already sewn this together, I'm going to go ahead and sew this long strip together here. Yeah, I'm making sure I got everything lined up. Hey, the Bud Files, how are you? You can come here and get some more, she said, honey.
Oh, the Vespa?
Yep. We need to make a trip to Italy for a vacation. Greenlanders love going to Italy. I bet y'all didn't know that. Every summer, several of them go to Italy for a vacation.
I'd like to make it out there one day.
You know what? I would go there just so I could eat the food. That would be my biggest excuse. Let's go eat some of the food.
Oh, you want all the cheese they have?
I want to have pasta dishes, man. Some of the, like, I love chicken marsala and some of them other Italian dishes.
I think you just want the cheese, that's all.
Oh, the cheese is good too, honey. Can't fault me on that one. I put cheese on a lot of things, especially Parmesan and Reggiano on it.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I love to put that in my salads. It gives so much flavor to the salad.
Yes. Yep, I agree with you. It's great on salads. It's great on red sauce. I mean, red meat sauce. It's good on that. It's good on pizza. It's good on everything. Just about. It's, you know, it's a strong smelling cheese, but boy, it's good on food.
Mm-hmm. They make Parmesan crisps that you can eat. It's basically baked cheese.
Oh, I'll have to see how that's made. Maybe I could make them myself.
Mm-hmm. It's like a cracker replacement.
Keto sounds like.
It is.
Yeah. And that'd be right up my alley. I love how I've watched a few YouTube videos about how the cheese is made in Italy. It's so interesting. I remember the first time I went to New York to meet Michael and Melanie, because Michael is Italian, and he was born in Italy but raised in the United States, and because his parents migrated to the U.S. First time I said Italian, it was Italian, and oh my gosh, Michael's like, you do not say that way. That is incorrect. I'm like, well, I guess I'm here. I told him, I said, I guess I'm here for you to educate me then. But he has a big family, and I cooked a full southern meal spread for them. Oh my gosh. They can freaking eat, let me tell you. I had a hard time trying to find fresh okra. You don't find that.
Yeah.
You don't find that every day in New York, apparently.
No, you don't. Even here at this point, it's not something that you see fresh all the time.
Yeah. When I was in California, I never did find any fresh okra.
That's one of the things I don't eat.
I love fried okra, and that's what I made them, was fried okra.
I've never had it fried because I've always been afraid to try it.
There is nothing like fried okra. You know how people come. A lot of times people don't eat okra because they claim it's slimy, which means whoever cooked it didn't know what they were doing to start with. And secondly, with fried okra, you don't get that effect anyway, because the breading that you put on it, or what my mom did, she would slice the okra in slices, salt and pepper it first. Then she took half a cup of flour and a half a cup of cornmeal, and she'd mix it all together. And then she would put it in a plastic bag and drop all the okra into the bag, and then shake it until it's all coated. And then she would put a 1/4 inch of oil in the bottom of that cast iron skillet and get it nice and hot and ready to go, and then drop the okra right in it. And you don't stir it, because by stirring it you can make it slimy. And you wait till it has this nice browning effect on the bottom of it. Then you take a spatula and you flip it over piece by piece, and you let it crisp up on the other side, and you have crunchy, yummy okra.
My mom says she does, because my mom will eat it fried, and she said, when you eat it fried, it doesn't have the sliminess.
It
but
doesn't.
I never could get past it. I've only had it in like a jambalaya, where it just mixes in with everything else.
Gumbo.
Yeah, that's what I meant, a gumbo. It was a gumbo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a gumbo.
It thickens up the gumbo instead of having to put additional things. Okay. We're going to keep talking about food in a minute, because I was going to say something about that. She also used to, when she would take like fresh white acre peas or fresh black eyed peas, and she would cook them when she would cook them with either a ham hock or big chunks of smoked bacon. And when the peas were about halfway done, she would take whole okra that has not been sliced. She didn't cut it other than to trim the little part that goes onto the stem. You don't break the pod. And she would gently lay them over the top of the boiling peas. Just sit them right on top, put a lid on it, cook it for 5 minutes, take the lid back off, and take a spatula and run it right underneath it, and then set them on a plate. They were good that way too. But you know what I used to do? My mom would have us out there helping her pick okra, and she'd be screaming, "Stop eating the okra!" Because we'd be standing there eating the okra right off the vine. Okay, here's where we are on this French twist.
Hey.
So now all we got to do is I'll sew this to this one to this one, and then when we have the seams done, then we will sew this to this. But this is what it looks like before I sew it. That does look cool, doesn't it? Hey, Angie, and hello, June Hansen. Welcome, welcome.
Well, you do have some frozen ones.
Yep. Giovanna says the cheese is fantastic. Parmigiano and Reggiano. I never say that right. It's fantastic. It also is the most healthy cheese in the world. Yeah. Very little cholesterol, she says.
Oh, I did not know that. That's actually good to know.
And Giovanna says it is not an I, it is an E in Italian. See? Even she says
Italiano.
that. It's Italian, not Italian. It's kind of like, here's the same thing. A certain person let me walk around for 2 years saying our last name wrong. 2 years. And when we went, we had to go to the commune. I had to fill out paperwork for something. And when she asked me what my name was, and I told her, she looked at me, she's like, what? So I told her again. She says, can I see your residency card, please? Okay. And she looked at it, she says, it's not Jolson, it's Yolson. And I look at Nikolaj and give him a dirty look like, gee, we're going to have to talk about this when you're home.
I was still
In the States, that's how we would pronounce it.
Yes, but, you know, that's the problem is, you know, we're not raised to, I guess one of the things we lack being raised on is being told, you know, don't assume that because it starts with a J, it's going to be sounding like a J. Or a T is going to sound like a T when it's actually a D here in Greenland. Or a P is a B.
Well, I can't really say much because I'm in the States and my name starts with a C. Sounds like an H. I'm in no position to judge.
Yeah, there you are. So do you ever correct people when they say yours wrong?
Sometimes it depends on the situation. Like if it's somebody that I work with, then that I'm going to be speaking with, then I'll tell them my correct name. But if it's somebody I'm going to talk to one time, then I normally just don't bother.
Yeah, you just ignore it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like people misspelling my first given name. My given name is Catherine. But when you hear that, most people assume, oh, it's either Cathrine or it's Kathrine. No, it's not. Mine is spelled a really old way. It's Kathryn.
Yep.
And that's very old spelling. And if you go further back than that, it's Katrin. And here in Greenland, there is people with my given name, and they say it like Katrin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not Catherine, it's Katrin. That would explain why my Japanese mother-in-law couldn't say my name, because TH is not in the Japanese language either.
That's right.
So
You don't think about stuff like that.
Yeah. So people started calling me Katie because it was Kathy. And instead, what was coming out of their mouth was Katie. And I'm like, and I told Nikolaj one day, I said, you know what? I kind of like being called Katie because it has no nasty connotation to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because of my, past history of crap. And so I just decided everybody can call, my sisters call me Kat. They always have. It's never been Kathy. It's always been Kat. And Nikolaj rarely calls me by my nickname or my given name. We usually call each other Asa, which means honey in Greenlandic. Or he'll call me his wife, which is Nuliara. Or I'll call him my husband, which is Uik. It's such a short name for a man. Isn't that right, honey?
Yep.
It's spelled U-E-Q. Uik means husband.
I never would have known how to say that just from seeing it spelled.
Yeah. And Nuliara is Nuliara. And I probably am not exactly saying it properly. Am I? Is Nuliara right or wrong?
Let's go right.
Close enough?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm pinning together the two quadrants, and then I'll go ahead and pin the other two because I want to chain piece this. I just need to make sure I have these seams together right, so I don't have to go back and fix it. Because for some reason, this one looks like it's not being cooperative. June says it's a pretty block. Hey, Angie, how are you? Welcome to the chat, or welcome to the live, I'm sorry. All right.
I bet if you did a whole quilt in that block, it would have so much movement.
It would. I wish I had some more of this blue, man. I have plenty of the purple. I'm like 5 yards of that stuff. Compliments of soya before I couldn't afford it anymore. Shipping got to be too much through them. Uh-oh. We got two seams going in the same direction on here. How did I do that? Okay, so we are going to improvise. All right. Get it pinned. Are y'all enjoying this little tutorial? And I hope I'm doing a good job teaching it, despite all the yakking I'm doing right this minute.
So Geo is pronounced Joe. So it would be Giovanna, not Giovanna, because I would not have gotten that right.
Oh, so I said it wrong too. It's Joe. Oh, see? Thank you for correcting that, Giovanna.
Yeah.
I see. I wouldn't have known that if you don't tell us. And I don't get offended when I get corrected.
Me neither.
That's not how you say my name. Say it this way. I'm like, okay.
There's too many ways to say things to get it all right all the time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for correcting me on that. Now I will say Giovanna. Is it Giovanna or Giovanna? Tell me.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
country.
Yeah.
Yeah, because over here it would be that J that G sound. How's the G sound here, babe? Because it's different too.
Giovanna. We'll say Giovanna.
So we'll be Joe, not
Joe,
right?
Giovanna.
Giovanna. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. And Giovanna says that's okay with her. Wait a minute, what am I doing? I must, wait a minute, something's wrong. I need to see what I just did. Something's wrong. I think I'm pinning these on the wrong side. Okay, so that's supposed to be like that.
Hey, Angie, what are you working on? Are you sewing or just watching?
Hey, Teresa, I'm glad to see you. I saw what you said about your surgery. I'm glad it went well. She had hand surgery on her other hand.
Oh.
Yeah, but I don't want to call you Banana Joe because to me, maybe I'm just being weird, but I feel like Banana Joe doesn't sound, I don't know. It doesn't sound like a nice nickname. Put it that way. Maybe it's just me not wanting to be offensive. Angie says, watching, I can't do both, laugh out loud. And thank you, Teresa, for gifting someone a membership. I appreciate that. I've been trying to raise funds on my super chat, and nobody's jumping on that one. I need to buy a camera, or I need not. It's not the camera I need. It's the hardware part that you attach the camera to that I need.
I need another one of those too.
Yeah, and I need a new tripod desperately. Some kind of bad. I need a tripod. I need one where, you know how some people have the camera up above their head? You don't see the camera, but it's up there and it can zero in on the sewing. I need one like that.
Yeah, I got a cheap one off of Amazon. I think it was like $20 or so. I know it'd be more for you with shipping, but
yeah,
I got two of them, one for each camera.
You're gonna have to show me yours because the more I'm a visual person, and it helps to see what everybody's using.
Let me see if I can show you it without.
So Giovanna says, I love bananas and I have been called that all my life, so I like it. Okay, as long as it wasn't some derogatory name. Okay, gotcha. Now I understand why you don't mind it.
Hold on. Can you see it? Is it in there?
Yeah. So it has like an arm going up across.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to find one like that because I think that's what I need to. If I can get that angle right, then they can see what I'm doing better because the way I have this set up, you can see me sewing, but you're not exactly seeing what I'm doing.
I'll send you the Amazon link that I use.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
And then you can see other stuff that kind of looks like it.
Okay. That will help a lot. All right, now let's get this other one sewn. And let's hope I didn't sew this or pin this in the wrong way. Knowing me wouldn't surprise me.
Knowing me.
Knowing you. Uh-huh. There's nothing we can do. Knowing me, knowing you. Some of these songs, we get stuck on these songs sometimes. Yep. Look at this, honey. Just about every time I hit the cutter, it's not cutting the thread. I need to clean this machine. Something fierce, I think. And I think when we get this block sewn together, I'm going to do it right here on the live. Okay,
I know mine needs to be cleaned out.
Yeah, the thread's not cutting. The thread cutter's not cutting, which means it probably got, and this is off. So I'm going to fix it. So that means it probably has some little dust bunnies in there getting in the way. And it'll probably fix it when I clean it. I haven't cleaned it in a little hot minute. I've been sewing like a crazy person.
You are a crazy person.
Yes, I am crazy. Crazy for you. It's been hilarious with him being home this go around because I told him when I got home, I said, you know, this time when you're home, don't answer your damn phone. Didn't I say that, honey?
Yeah.
Because every time he comes home and he's supposed to be off not working, his skipper is always pestering him, wanting him to do stuff. And I'm like, wait, you're not getting paid to do this. You come home to be with me, not to continue to work on, you know. So his telephone has not been burning up the airways until today. So can I tell the story?
Yeah. Sure.
So the skipper calls the chef of the ship, Anda, to put Anda up to tell him Nikolaj to call him.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, really? I just want my husband to have a little peace, you know, and relaxation.
Some balance.
You know, because he's not supposed to be working. He's supposed to be off. Not having to hunt for people to be put on the ship and stuff. I said, now a week before work, that's different. So it's been peaceful around here with no one bothering him. And I pulled the wrong seam apart, darn it. Sorry guys, hang on a minute. I pulled the wrong seam apart. Now I got to go pull the right seam apart and realign it. It's off just enough I can see it. May not be for everybody else, but it is for me. So bear with me for a minute. We have the seam ripper out to fix it. And it's really easy because I'm not ripping the whole seam out. I'm only taking about 1.5 inches out. And then I'll take my pin and realign the two seams, and then I'll sew it that way. I won't do the whole thing all over again because there's no need to do that. I've learned how to do this without taking it all the way apart. Hey, Quiltanon, how are you? And we're getting close to getting this block built. What time is it anyway?
No clue.
Hey, we're doing pretty good with this. Not 2 hours yet. We might have enough time to finish this block and then turn around and clean the machine. How about that? How's your project going, Chaunda?
It's going all right. Making some progress. Just gotta finish snow. Once I get the corners all snowballed, I'll be that's pretty much. I'll be in the home stretch after that point.
Okay, good. Let me know when you want to show it, and we'll show it.
Let me get a block put together first.
Okay. Need to turn this around so I can see what I'm doing. Got to get right in that sweet spot with that needle.
Have you tried the 2-pin? That way you pin with 2 pins?
No, and I actually have some of those.
Not the forked pins, but like just using 2 pins.
Yeah, what I do is I put the pin through the seam first to get the seam lined up. And then I put 2 pins on it. But when I did this time, I must have, when I was putting one of the pins in, I must have moved it. Or this might have been the one where I took the pin out when I shouldn't have. So now I'm going to make sure I get it in there and pin it with 2 pins.
Sometimes I will sew right over them, but just don't tell anybody.
I'm not going to tell anybody if you don't tell anyone. Because I'm not, let me tell you what, I used to make my clothes all the time. You've heard me say this before. And I use straight pins in stuff like that. And my mother never told me not to run it through the machine. I never broke a needle either, though. Now, have I broke one on this one? Once. Only because I wasn't paying attention.
I broke a needle once, but I was also using a really chunky pin. So now I try to use the thinner pins so I don't have to worry about it. Yeah,
same here. I use the really small ones. So if it's going to do, it'll bend the pin and not break the needle. But you still have to replace the needle because he went and did that to it. Unless it looks okay. I mean, it just depends. I definitely make sure that before I ever pull a pin that needle's right through the center of that seam before I even pull one. Then I know I've got it lined up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because at least then I know it didn't move when I've done it. If I pull the pin right before I stick the needle through there, it might move. And that's probably what I did a few minutes ago. I got in a hurry. Now let me see if it looks right. It better. Yep, it fixed it. Okay, let me look at the other one. And the other one's fine. It's funny how it's hit and miss with this. You have one that you didn't do that to it, and the other one's like that. It's so weird. Okay, I'm going to press these open. And then we're going to sew that center seam. The back of this looks really good. Do you have a really tight schedule, this year for your sewing with other people?
No, I don't normally sew with other people.
You want to sew with me once a month?
Absolutely. Get me out of my shell. I'm such an
Mhm.
introvert, you know?
I know, and I know that doing lives on your own are hard. But I like sewing with other people. It makes I can't. I just like to sew with people. I might not want to go sew at someone's house, but on the internet, yeah, let's sew. Have you ever been to a quilt retreat?
Yeah, I did one. I've only been to one, like in person. I've done virtual retreats, but I've only done one in-person one. That's I don't know if you remember when I broke my sewing machine, when I
Yes, I
dropped it on the,
remember that. Mm-hmm.
I was on my way to a retreat.
Um, so I'm curious, as an introvert, what did you think about the retreat?
It was interesting. I spent some time with the other retreaters, but I'm not gonna lie, I spent a lot of time like just in my room because we were at the beach and I love the beach. And so I spent a lot of time on my balcony.
I remember seeing one of your what that was a short, wasn't it? Where you were out there sitting, or did
Yeah,
you
it
actually?
was.
Yeah, thought so because I remember seeing that and I was thinking she's on retreat, but she's outside, and
Yeah,
that sounds like something I would do.
because I would get up in the morning, and then I would go for breakfast, and then, I would come back to the room, and it would be so nice out on the little balcony that I
Mhm.
would just kind of want to hang out there.
Yep.
Besides, I was also having like technical difficulties because remember I broke my machine, so I had to
Hmm.
use my backup machine, which is a Juki, which is a mechanical machine. And I didn't realize that it needed to be oiled, so it kept like skipping stitches. It was just so frustrating to work with. And by the time I figured out what was wrong and that it just needed oil, I was already home.
Hey,
So I
Janice. Sorry. Go ahead.
no,
Continue.
no, I was done. I was just saying, if I didn't have technical difficulties with the machine, I probably would have sewn more.
Have you ever sewn with Janice?
With who?
With Janice of the right way.
No, I
You know
haven't.
what? You should come sew with both of us on her night too. She sews with me. She sews with me one Saturday a month. You want to come sew with us that night so you can get to know her?
As long as it's not the second Saturday in the month, that's
It's not.
okay. That's the only Saturday where I have like plans. That's my family. My family gets together
It's the fourth
the
Saturday
second
that she
Saturday.
sews with me.
Okay, yeah, that would be kind of fun. And I know I think she lives in the same state as me.
She lives in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because both of you were at QuiltCon because I got to meet both of you.
Mm-hmm. I only remember because she won one of my giveaways, and I remember mailing mailing her a prize to her, and I was like, oh, she's not too far.
Yep. Okay, so here we are, and I've sewn this part and this part. Now all we got to do is put that center seam in, and this very interesting block will go together. Janice says, "Yeah, Chaunda, I would love to meet you." See, there you go.
Hmm.
It'll be fun us sewing together. All right, let's go ahead and now all I got to do is make sure all of these seams line up with each other. And because I didn't press open the seams, this is going to be hilarious, I think.
Yeah, I didn't get to see you either, Janice. And in my head, I've been calling you Janice this entire time, so apologies.
I love her accent. You can tell she's from Jamaica. I have I finally got Sharice lined back up to come sew with me too. And she's from, what country is she from?
Dang it, I cut a tip off my block by accident.
Uh-oh, is that going to affect how it goes together?
I don't know. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna make it work.
Janice says she is also an introvert, so no worries. See? Us
Yeah,
introverts
I am
have a good time together.
such an introvert, like painfully so.
You know, I might not have acted like I was an introvert when you saw me at QuiltCon. But you know, it's weird with like it was the first time I've been to that kind of a convention, number one. So I didn't know what to expect. Number two is I can zone out a lot of what's going on around me. It's called lofting is what it's called. And something I learned as a young girl how to do it. And but if you were to have a party where people are drinking and being loud and or a bar, let's use a bar as that's a good situation. I can't deal with that kind of stuff. It's too much.
I don't mind being present around, like, I would be fine in that situation. I just wouldn't talk to anyone, and I'd be perfectly okay with that.
It's funny because I used to go to something called a munch party, and a munch party is where a bunch of adults would we all belong to an online group, and then once a month we would get together as eat at whoever's house and bring food and everything, and we a lot of times most of us would spend the night there. And the first 2 or 3 times probably the first couple months I was going, one day someone walked because I sit on the sofa and I sit and I listen and I watch what's going on around me because I was taught that girls are supposed to be seen, not heard. It was drilled into my head. So, but people find that intimidating. And so one day someone come and sat down on the sofa next to me and they said, can I ask you a question? I'm like, sure. Are you a stuck-up person? No. You never talk. And I told him, I said, I'm kind of shy. Well, you're not shy when you're talking in a chat room. I said the chat room's different.
Not the same.
It's not, it's the same. And so we got to talking and I explained to her why I do that, not talk. And she's like, oh my God, now I understand. So all of them were mindful of it because I guess she went and talked to everybody else because someone put her up to asking me because they were afraid that they would offend me. And after that, all of them went out of the way to try to get me to talk, you know, or come up. They would sit next to me and calmly just start a conversation with me. And it wasn't long, I don't know, about 7 or 8 months into making friends with all of them. It got where I could actually wander through the house and talk to everybody. But it took me a while to get where I was to that point.
My coworkers were afraid of me for the same reason.
Yeah,
like the people that like worked with me every single day, that like talked to me every day, they knew me. But like other team members that didn't work with me every day, they were like scared of me. They thought I was mean, even though I never said anything to them. Just the fact that I didn't talk and I kind of stayed to myself, they thought I was mean. So I had to like make an effort to like speak to people, like, hey, you know, just walk around and like literally make an effort to talk to people so they could get to know me.
Yep. Because for whatever reason, I guess when you're quiet and you don't say anything, for whatever reason, I guess human beings think that you have some kind of motive or something. I don't know. I remember that the first time me and my sisters got to go to a church party, and you know, before we left to go to the church party, we were lucky we even got to go to one because my dad was so strict. And he said, if I hear anything bad come back to me, you're going to pay the penalty, was what his comment was. So we would go to parties and we wouldn't, all three of us wouldn't talk. And people thought we were being mean spirited. We were afraid to talk. That's the kind of hold he had on us. And when an adult finally asks, you could join in with the young people, I'm like, are you going to go back and tell my dad that I did blah blah blah? And they're like, what do you mean? Well, because if we do something that someone doesn't like and they go back and tell him, then we're going to get the tar beat out of us. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's why you girls don't talk. Yeah, pretty much. Because we were trained that way.
My entire family they're all chatty Cathy's. And it took me a long time to be okay with being different than them.
Yep. When Kristen was born, the youngest one, my youngest daughter, when I had Lynn, that's the oldest one. Lynn didn't talk for a long time. There was nothing wrong with her in her brain. She just was a quiet child. When Kristen came along, which she was number 3, oh my God, when she started talking, that child never shut up. She would talk you under the table.
That's my middle daughter. My middle daughter is like that. The other two, yep. Fine, but that middle one, she was the chatty one, and if there was nobody to talk to her, she would just talk to herself.
Yeah,
and she was perfectly fine with that.
The other thing she would do is when she was talking, it sounded like she would be yelling. And I took her to the doctor. I said, my daughter, when she talks to us, she talks really loud. It's like she doesn't have a thing that tells her that she's too loud. So he checked her ears. She has the same kind of ears I have. Very small ear canal. And sometimes because of that, you talk louder. She's had to learn to realign how she talks. She's not loud now. Sometimes I can't hear her when she's talking. But when she was younger, boy, you sure did hear it.
That's going to be my new thing, because although I'm introverted, I'm also loud. I don't talk a lot, but when I do talk, I tend to be loud. So
Yeah.
that's going to be, it's because my ear canals are small. I'm
Yep.
not that.
So if I sound loud sometimes on a live, that's why, because I have tiny ear canals, and that makes it harder to hear sometimes.
I don't know if I do or not, but that's what I'm telling people.
Well,
Anytime anybody accuses me of being loud,
yeah,
it's my small ear canal. I can't help it.
Somewhat, because sometimes people will say, you talk a little loud. Can you lower your voice? You don't even know you're talking loud.
Right.
And to me, with Kristen, it seemed like she was louder than me, but she was a child. And, children's hearing is a lot different than adults. I hope y'all like this block, because I got the center seam done. I just need to press it, so give me a couple minutes, and then I'll show it to you and see what you think about this. And then I'm going to ask for feedback on this tutorial. I'm not going to hurt my feelings if you think I didn't do enough. I need to learn how to do this properly. Okay, something's twisted. I don't know why it's just because it's a thick seam, that's why. This would make a pretty quilt if I had all these colors.
It really would. It would have that's what I was noticing. That
Yeah.
there would be so much movement in that quilt. It would be so pretty.
Uh-oh, something's wrong. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. I made a boo-boo.
It won't be the first one.
Really, man?
Yeah, woman.
Come on.
Yeah, won't be the last one, though.
All right, let's see who sees it. Because it's going to be, yeah, you're going to see it in more than one spot. Oh my gosh, I made a mistake. Let's see who sees it. But I will fix it. Not a problem. Can you see it?
Yeah. But only because I know what the block is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Other than that, I wouldn't see it. But I only see it because you specifically were talking about how it goes together. And I was like, okay. But other than that, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I made a boo-boo, but it's okay. I can fix it. Judy says she sees it. Yeah, I have 2 solid down here and 2 up here, and this is not supposed to be like that. That's where the mistakes. Oh, wait a minute. I know what I did. I sewed the. No, I didn't. I did it right. It's just these blocks that are down the center on the outer edge is wrong. Yep, that's where it's wrong at. So it's wrong right here. So this should be here. Or the other way. Yeah. And the same thing up here. See, I have the 2 solid up here. Those are not supposed to be like that. So this can be fixed. This is fixable. It's no big deal. All right. I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to fix it after the live. I'm not going to fix it during the live. Unless you want me to fix it during the live, and I could fix it during the live. I need to, because I could undo I could undo it part of the way on both ends and then fix it. Actually, that's what I could do. Yeah. Let me turn this block around where I could see. So this and this is right. And then the solid. Then, oh, I have that turned around wrong. That's where I went.
Yeah, I thought the little 2-inch squares are supposed to be on the outside.
Yeah, I need to take this. I'm going to take this apart because something's not correct. Yeah, let's just take it apart here. Y'all okay with me doing this on a live? Okay, while I'm taking it apart, let me ask some questions. First, let's look at this poll, and then I'm going to put a poll up that has to do with the tutorial part of this live. All right, the question I asked earlier on the poll was, what lights your fire when piecing? I gave 3 answers. Number 1 was a very intricate pieced block. Number 2, a very simple block. Number 3 was a little of both. So 17% voted on a very intricate pieced block. 12% voted on a very simple block. And 71% said a little of both. And that's out of 41 votes. Yep, need to flip one set of the box. Yep, and I'm going to do that in just a minute. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I'm going to start another poll. Now, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you say, well, I think you sucked at this tutorial. I will hope you don't say sucked, but what I'm going to ask is, did I do okay with, because this is actually where I'm first time sitting and saying, let's do it this way. And then if you say yes or no, in the comments of the channel itself, tell me what I can improve on. So when I do the next tutorial of the next block, I can work on that skill set. Because the idea is to try to get better at this. Definitely don't need to make mistakes, but mistakes are okay. This is how we learn. So let me make the poll. And then I want you to tell me what you think I need to improve on. And you can do it without being too mean. I don't think you're going to be mean to me, though. I'm not worried. Y'all have never been mean to me. Okay, how should I ask this question? Did you like how I did the tutorial? Oops. what I'm supposed to. I'm doing a poll. Yeah, y'all probably think I love polls. Polls are a good way to gauge things.
I my entire block is wrong. I mean, nobody's gonna know except for me, but the whole thing is wrong. I put together the whole thing wrong, which is typical for me. I do this a lot. Should start calling myself the accidental quilter because it's truly a miracle that I get anything right, to be honest.
Sometimes when we're talking and doing things at the same time, we make mistakes too. There's that.
I mean, at least I made the same mistake consistently, so I can save it and call it on purpose.
Yeah. Hi, Katie and everyone in the chat. Waiting on hubby to come home with dinner, so won't be on long. Just wanted to say hi. Hello, Joan. Welcome, welcome. Okay. All right, I'm starting the poll. Yeah, and make sure you tell me in the chat what you think I should improve on. And while you're doing that, I'm going to take this center seam out first so I can figure out where I went wrong.
This club seems to be responsible.
Huh?
This club seems to be responsible.
You're having fun with it? Good.
I'm about to start the back one before already.
Oh, wow. I'm having fun with this block. I just can't believe I turned two of them around the wrong way. So leave it up to me to do that.
It happens, man.
It sure does. If I was perfect, I wouldn't be sitting here doing all this, right?
Yep.
And I have the desire to learn, so this is a good learning thing. I'm not the least bit upset that I made a mistake. Maybe a long time ago I might have. It is coming along. Wow. The only thing I don't like doing is using this seam ripper and accidentally poking a hole in the fabric.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yep, so I'm trying not to get in a hurry taking this out.
Not a single pin was used in the construction of this item, and it shows.
Mm-hmm. I posted the poll, so let me know what you think. And tell me in the chat what you think I should improve on. I will not be offended because I want to learn from this. You want to hang on and I'm going to spotlight this so you can see Nikolaj's handiwork so far too. All right, show it to him, baby.
So far, this is from one to three bags that I've been running when I'm working with my jazz club.
Jazz club.
Jazz club.
Sounds like you're saying chess club.
For the moment, I only have two musicians, and of course, pizza dude. I mean, what you call it? Pizzeria.
Yeah.
This area here is a pizzeria. This is the music corner here. And of course, there's a little toilet right here in here. It's not visible because then I have to remove everything so far.
Does Denmark have jazz clubs?
Yeah, I think so. And the back will look like this for the moment. It's just for a quick. Oh, I hope you're hungry because there's pizza right here. Pizza right here, and there's a dough and there's a sausage there too.
Oh, that's I didn't realize it would be that detailed. That's actually pretty neat.
Yeah, they're very detailed with all these creator sets.
Chaunda, haven't I shown you the Home Alone
She hasn't seen the Home Alone.
Mm-mm.
Janice
boy.
Janice has seen it, but you haven't. I mean, she hasn't.
All right, let me show it to you then.
Yeah, wait till you see this Home Alone. It's really cool.
I can show you the smaller ones first. Oh boy, this would be fun.
Move that out of the way so you don't have it in the way, babe.
This is the tree house that should have been from the back of the house.
Okay.
It had a little string here, so it would be like a
Yeah, it's a zip line,
zip line.
Oh, that's neat.
just like the movie.
Yeah. Then back of the house, there's this little piece where in right here there's a kitchen. I can do like this. There's it will be like this. There's a kitchen right here, and right under it there's a boiler room and wash machines and so on. And of course, the boiler room is like this.
Okay.
It's like it's running.
I think it's funny that that big old house has such a tiny kitchen.
Wait till you see the house.
Because the house is humongous, but that kitchen is like tiny. I'm like, whoever designed that house for the movie must have not been thinking about that a woman might notice that. Oh, it's too funny.
Ready for the house?
I'm ready.
This is the house.
Wow, that is big.
You
Yeah.
want me to put here? I'll put my hands on it so you can open it for her.
You even got like bushes and stuff.
Yeah. And a basement. See the blue windows down here on the bottom?
Oh,
That's the
yep, I
basement.
do. I see them.
The roof. This is the roof so far. I can remove it easily. And then of course I can open the top part here like this. And the bottom part and the bottom part too.
And then, I don't know if you've ever seen them. I got it. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie, but you see this thing moving? That is what the young man had set up, making the bad guys think there was someone in the house.
I've definitely seen the movie, but it's been a while. It's been a few years since I watched it.
It's very detailed.
I see. Even with the Christmas decorations.
Yeah.
Yep. And underneath the dining table is this rug that reminds me of a quilt. It's too funny.
Now I can show this is the bedroom part, bedroom, top floor. I mean, where you can see there's a 2-bedroom set. Even there's a big family.
Okay.
Bathroom too, and right now what I'm holding here is like a small safe. Where inside the safe there's a small heart that you have right here, honey.
Yep, I got a heart on my little sewing machine.
How long does it take to do that?
You did this in 3 lives or 2 lives?
No, I think 4 lives.
Was it 4 lives?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he only worked on it during a live so that y'all could see the process.
Okay.
So it'll be on the last 4 lives?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
And
now, if he wasn't because he was doing it on the live, he would have had it done in one night.
Yep.
But he's sharing himself with all of us. And it's fun because I love the look on his face when he's sharing this. Because he really loves doing this. This is how he decompresses when he comes home.
And I mean, it's just like what we do with the quilting,
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is you've seen he's been working while we've been sewing and talking.
Mm-hmm.
If we weren't on a live, this is what we do. He'll build, I'll sew, and we'll listen to an audible. This is how we've always done it for the last 14 years. We do things together in which when we get into the craft room, because I've changed the name of it's not going to be sewing room anymore. It's going to be called the craft room. but we've always
Okay.
we've just always gone in there and done things together. That's how we spend time together. That way he's not off in one end of the house and I'm off in the other end, and we're not spending time together. By doing it like this, we're spending time together.
Yeah, and not just that, but then you're doing something creative and you have more of an opportunity to talk to each other. Because even if you're in the
Exactly.
same room watching TV, you know, you're
You're
not
not
always
talking.
interacting. Yeah.
This is the corner garage that I've been working for. I think 3 lives too.
Yeah, he just
What is that?
Corner garage.
Okay.
It goes in the same way too. It's very easy.
You want me to hold it so you can open it?
I know it's okay.
You got it?
Yeah, I know. Here.
Here, I'll hold it and you show it to her.
As you can see there, I can remove the roof part too. Then inside here on the second floor, there's a small apartment, bed, sofa, and a TV right here, and of course
Is he cooking? Is that a
Yeah.
pan on the stove?
yeah, and of course there's a meat cleaver right here too, as you can see, right here, and a spoon. And if I remove this one, that's the right here. It says Dr. Jones Animal Care. It's a small hospital where if I could try to flip
Little
it,
a little veterinary
Animal hospital,
Yeah.
yeah.
vet clinic.
yeah. There's a toad here, bunny here, fish here, and a parrot right here.
That's neat.
And but right at the bottom of it, there's what we call the corner garage is idea. We have a lift and a small tank here. And
Look at the gas tank.
yeah, it's a small gas tank with where you can have your old vintage car work area. And of course, German Shepherd. You're not gonna get it. No way. You already confiscated my orca, so you're not gonna get this
Your
one.
orca's arrested right now.
And of course, I can open the garage too. With I need to.
I arrested his orca because his orca bit me on the ear. I wonder why it bit me on the ear.
I don't know.
Which set did the orca come from?
It's
Sure, the big old boat.
oh boy, you're gonna.
It's a big one. Oh my God. When I saw how big it was, I'm like, holy crap. In the meantime, I better pay attention to what's going on in the chat. Hang on. I'm ripping out these blocks so I can redo them again. Let's see. What builder set is Heartlight working on today? John says he's working on Jazz Club. Then yeah, go ahead and show her the boat, and then I'll finish reading this stuff.
This is a boat. This is how it looks like.
It's longer than my longest ruler.
But
Oh my gosh, that's big.
See that? 28 inches long.
That's impressive.
that's a Polar Explorer thing.
Yep. It has a crane on it.
I can open it. It's
Uh-oh.
It's okay. It's meant to do that, and I can open the bay too here, and small helicopter here.
I'm about to say, where's the helicopter? Okay.
Yep, helicopter's right here. It's so cute. Look at it.
And a small dinghy to photograph the orca.
That orca's on house arrest.
Yeah. And because since it's a explorer thing, there's this one too. As you can see, there's Viking stuff that it's an
Yeah.
old ship.
Sunken Viking boat.
Oh wow. It even has its own salvage.
Yeah. Diver too.
Oh, look at the flippers. The flippers are adorable.
And And of course, in a little small RV unit.
Okay. And you got to put that together,
Yeah, it's
all those little pieces.
yeah.
It's all pieced together. We were going to get the Titanic and we missed out.
Oh, we can get it.
You think that man still has it?
Yeah.
But the Titanic, if we put it together, I don't know where the heck we're going to put it because it's as big as the Millennium Falcon, just about. The Millennium Falcon can sit on our dining table and take up the whole dining table.
And it weighs 5 pounds.
Yeah.
No, sorry, 10 pounds.
All right, let me catch up on the chat while you're doing that because I think someone asked about a block. Katie, you did a good job for the first time. I think if we could see you sewing, it would help. I'm sure it's not easy trying to teach that way. Yeah, that is something I need to work on. I need an apparatus that can hold the camera up where you can see me sewing. So that's on my wish list. That's what I need. That's what me and Chaunda were talking about earlier. Judy says I wasn't paying close enough to your teaching technique because I was focused on my paper piece, and I just like to listen while I'm sewing for that. You and Chaunda did a great job. Thank you. Okay. Katie, yep, I saw that part. That was so amazing. I think Legos are harder than making a quilt. Legos are harder, says Angie. And Judy says he's so fast with them. Hi, Katie. What is the boat made from? Legos. Yes. Sister Chicks is from Legos. Hey, welcome. It's good to see you. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling these blocks apart. I'm not taking all of it apart, just the quadrants so I can figure out where I went wrong. And we're going to fix where I went wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Because I bet I turned a block the wrong direction is what I bet I did. What were you going to say, baby?
Well, the corner garage has a vintage car.
Vintage car?
Yeah.
Well, show it to him, babe.
It's an old vehicle.
Oh,
isn't that cute? Show him the front.
That is cute. It's got its little tow anchor and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of that is Vespa.
Yeah, we were talking
Okay.
about the Vespa earlier.
That's where the Vespa came from.
Yep.
Yep.
That's where it came from. All right, now we're going to see where I went wrong on this block. Because I bet it was just I turned something the wrong way. Oh, I still don't have this pulled all the way apart.
Okay, she's gone. I just want to show her this.
She's right there.
Oh.
Is that
if you want to relax on top of the roof, there's what do you call it?
you got a little shade
lounge,
with an umbrella on top of the boat?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they thought of everything on this little kit.
They really did think of everything.
Yep. And it's like the Millennium Falcon. You know, in the movie, when you're watching the movie, you see what's on the inside of the ship itself.
Mm-hmm.
On the Lego kit, it follows every part of the Millennium Falcon. Every little detail is inside that thing. Now let me see if we can figure out where I went wrong on this block so I can fix it. Okay, we got that one going that way. This one going this way, so 2, 2. And then these are going to get turned this way, where the purple's going out. You know, this one's going to get turned out also. You know what the problem was? Is I sewed it wrong together because I wasn't paying attention. Let me show you, because I pulled it apart now. And this is how it should look. But before I sew it, I want everyone to look and make sure that I'm not seeing a mistake. Okay, let's try this again, and I'm going to spotlight it so everyone can see. As soon as I figure out which camera this is. All right. Okay, now look at it. I think now I have it right.
There you go, because you got the chains now.
Yep. I turned one of these was turned the wrong way, or was positioned in the wrong spot. And that's what I done wrong. Okay, now I'll sew all four of them together. Chaunda, you've got some serious pre-cuts and bundles on your shelves. I know.
That's what I was saying. I got enough to share, Katie.
I know. I'm jealous. Look at all of them. But you know what? Thank you for saying that, because I'm worried. But for right now, I'm fine. It's just when I start running out of things, it's going to freak me out. Unless things get better, but I'm not holding my breath on that one.
Well, once prices go up, they don't tend to come down, so.
No, they don't. The problem is everything I get, I import into Greenland. And if the fight gets ensued because we are denying someone something, then you can bet everything that gets imported through Denmark to come to Greenland is going to skyrocket.
Yeah.
And when that happens, I can forget about buying anything.
Yeah, I can't help much with yardage, but I got plenty of pre-cut.
Yeah, it's fine. No problem at all. I can, yeah. It'll be.
I've got some blocks done.
Good. You want to show them? Let me unspotlight
Yeah.
myself, and now I'm going to spotlight you. We're going to put you on the hot seat. Hang on. Let me, wait. Don't. All right. Now you can.
All right. So these are the blocks that I'm making.
Oh, look at the
The
fabric.
little flowers.
What fabric
Now
line is that from?
I don't remember.
That's pretty.
I just know that it's called Goldenrod is the name of the project. And so I basically have three identical, well, not identical, different color blocks.
Wow.
And these will be my flowers. The
They look-
mistake that I made was that when I attached this and snowballed this corner here, I was supposed to put that on this side. So the black part, this darker fabric was supposed to be toward the inside, and the lighter fabric was supposed to be toward the outside, but I messed that up on every single one.
Well, to me, it looks like it's supposed to be like that.
Right. So I'm calling it a design choice.
Yeah, leave it like that because it looks wonderful to me.
It would have been way too much. It would have been impossible to take it out and redo it.
Yep.
So that wasn't even an option. So I'm through the thick of it. Now I just have to make the stem and the leaves and put the borders on. So this is the longest part.
Sister Chick says, I'm jealous too, Chaunda. And Quilting says, lovely. Joy T, hey girl. She says, beautiful. And she says, your points are so perfect.
My points are not perfect. They're just too far away for you to see how imperfect they are.
They look perfect to me.
Trust me. Yeah, we're not quite there.
Yeah, but it still looks great. Not two of my scissors. Dang it. I keep losing things because
Where are the scissors that I've given you?
Those scissors will not cut thread, my dear.
Really?
Nope.
I could sharpen them, you know.
You could, huh? Hey, look, honey. Look, honey, I'm gonna be playing spool chicken soon. Did you see that? Look.
Oh.
I bet you it'll be bobbin chicken first, though.
You're running low.
Well, the bobbin's half empty, and that thread, I don't know, the thread might run out first. You know, I have been sewing so much this past year that I have gone through I use this Dove Gray because I really like it a lot. And I have gone through one, and just in the past year, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the one that's about to run out is number 6. I've gone through 6 of these large spools
That's a lot of thread.
in the last year. That's how much sewing I've been doing.
That's a lot. That's impressive.
You're probably wondering why these aren't thrown away. I have this brilliant idea. They're plastic, number 1. Number 2, they'll go into the landfill and take, I don't know, 1,000 years to melt. So I thought, why don't I just hang them on a string when we move back into the craft room and hang them from the ceiling and make something decorative out of them? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know what, but something. And that's not counting. I have some smaller spools like this that are empty. I've emptied them this past year too, and they were the Dove Gray also. That I just had smaller spools of, because I started, what I've been doing is everything that's that color, I've been making sure I use it so I don't open a new one. Because, you know, thread's not cheap either.
No, it's not.
So I'm trying to make sure that I don't waste anything. Look who's big. Babe, will you feed her some tuna fish?
Mm-hmm.
And since she's having tuna fish tonight, you could give her 2 eggs instead of 1.
All right.
Because I don't think she's going to waste it. Unless there's something wrong with the outside of the shell anyway. We have our Dotson. She is hilarious. So I feed her, she's on a raw diet, as most of you know. And one of the things that I've discovered is if you buy eggs that are free range eggs or organic eggs, she wolfs them down like nobody's business. But if you buy the regular over the counter eggs, sometimes she'll eat the inside of the egg and she'll leave the outside. And I think it's because something is, I think it's because something is wrong with the shell itself. Maybe they used bleach to clean the outside of the shell or something.
I was gonna say, have you tried washing them? Maybe? I don't know.
No, but maybe
That's
I
weird.
should, because she definitely wastes eggshells, because the reason she needs the eggshell is for calcium and other things, because she's on a raw diet. She's not on kibble. And when you feed them eggs, you give it all to them. They don't, you know, the only other time I've ever seen her waste eggshells is if I feed her too much bone.
I have seen where people dry out their eggshells and grind them into powder and use them that way.
Well, I hadn't thought of that, because I wondered if it wasn't something to do with the taste, the reason she's doing it. I just thought it was interesting. She's not wasting organic eggs, but she's wasting the regular stuff that's not organic, if that makes sense. And how would she know that there was something wrong with the ones you and I eat all the time? Because organic eggs are not cheap.
No, I mean, eggs aren't cheap, period, right now.
Nope. Well, here the egg prices here have not gone up, but they have gone up because there's no bird flu over here in Denmark. Everything else, on the other hand, oh my God, a whole chicken is now up to $13 for one.
Ooh.
Hamburger meat is up to, did we determine $10 a half a pound, babe?
Yeah, I think so. Getting there.
Yeah.
$10 for half a pound?
Yep.
Oh my goodness gracious. I'd be eating eggs too.
Eggs are a lot cheaper for sure. And I started buying from the meat guy, the manager. He's letting me buy cases. He's letting me buy whole chickens by the case, chicken wings by the case, chicken legs by the case, because I'm saving money that way. He may not realize I'm saving money that way, but I am. And then they got some American beef. I don't know, less than a month ago, I guess it was. And I went up there, and when I told him I wanted a half of a ribeye, and he told me how much the half ribeye was going to cost, I about passed out on the floor because I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was so pricey. Oh my God.
I'm not going to complain anymore then. I got nothing to say about these prices.
He told me 500 kroners per kilo. I like, what? That's $80 for a half a ribeye.
I think the going price for ribeye where I live is about $12 to $15 a pound.
That's regular price, or is that when it's on sale?
That's the regular price.
Yeah, because normally, I don't know if you do this or not, but when I lived in the States and I bought whole ribeyes, I always waited till it was $6.99 a pound, and then I would go buy a whole one and then have the meat guy cut part of it into roast and part of it into steaks.
Yeah, it doesn't go quite that low anymore, but
yeah,
you can get it for, you know, like $10 a pound or something like that.
Okay, now then, let me make sure I have. I think it's gonna be okay now.
All right, dog's fit now.
Okay, thanks, honey. Sister Chick says, I'm so sorry about your prices. I got the Costco roasted chicken for $5. Oh my God.
Yeah. You get a rotisserie chicken already
that
cooked.
Makes me jealous.
Already cooked for $5.
Yeah, that makes me freaking jealous. So, you know, I'm going to say this, and I don't care if it hurts someone's feelings. When Americans think that inflation is an American thing, it is not. It's all of us worldwide that is experiencing this.
Oh yeah, it's definitely global inflation.
It's very global. And to add insult to injury, I want to show you something. Two things I want to show you. This is what corporations and manufacturers are doing to all of us. Worldwide, they're doing this. When I first moved here, this is butter, real butter. Okay. When I first moved here, it was 250 grams, which is a little under a pound. Okay. And it was 21 kroners, right? Somewhere around 21 kroners.
$3.
So about $3. Okay. About a year ago, they went from 250 grams to 200 grams. So now it's no longer a pound of butter. Okay. This butter is now 29 kroners.
Up from what?
From 21 for less butter.
Shrinkflation is what we call it.
Now, do you see this box of cereal? This box of cereal has, where's the measurement for this box?
On the other side.
Okay, this box is supposed to have 360 grams of cereal in it. Now, when you go to the grocery store, you remember they had 3 sizes of cereal: small, medium, and large. They took this box, which would have technically been a small box. You see how thick this box is? they made it look big, but when you open the box, you get this itty bitty bag of Rice Krispies. This box of cereal costs 40 kroners.
How many is that? How much is that in
How
US
much is
dollars?
that in US dollars for 40 kroners, baby?
That's like 5, 6.
Hang on, I can do this right here. Hang on a minute, y'all, because I can use the other browser to look that up. Hold on a minute, y'all, and I'll go do it. Let me Google it. And
$6. I think.
so it'll be DK to US dollar. And this is 40 kroners for this box that looks like it's enormous. So it's 40 kroners. It costs $5.54 for this itty bitty tiny bag of Rice Krispies.
Yeah, that's
It
crazy.
comes in this very big box. So when
That's
you see,
crazy.
you're like, oh, I'm getting a lot of cereal. No, you're not. So not only are our plate prices inflationary, but they're shrinking our product and jacking the prices even more. So the only people that are, so the people who are making the money is the manufacturers and the companies, and the rest of us have to do without.
That is what's happening.
And my thing is how can you boycott it? You can't boycott eating. I mean, if you could boycott buying it from them, then maybe they'll stop it. But you can't not starve your family. So what do?
That I do not know.
They got us right where they want us. Worldwide, that's what they've done. And I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to get on this little rant, but I'm just saying that, when you start hearing tariffs and you're worried about buying fabric because the prices are going to go up, as if the prices hadn't already gone up. And this is your livelihood because you're doing something fun. What are you supposed to do?
It's a really tough spot, Katie. I agree.
We all are in this together, and it's like our hands are tied and none of us can do anything about it. Hey, Terry. Quilting on says buying air. She says she buys 25. She buys 25-pound bags of oats, no cold cereal. Yeah, see? And meat and milk is sold, that's what, a liter, babe?
Yeah.
So a liter of milk is this little itty bitty carton. It costs 15 kroners.
17.
Oh, it's up to 7. Oh, let me see how much 17 is now. So it went up to 17 kroners. So we can't even buy a gallon of milk here. Not even fresh milk. This is processed milk.
Yep.
It's some kind of processed milk that doesn't require refrigeration until you open it. So I
can't do shelf stable milk. Never could.
It's hard. I buy it every now and then and I'll stick it in the refrigerator only because I have a craving for Rice Krispies and I'll go buy a box. But for the most part, I don't eat much cereal.
Me and lactose don't get along and really haven't since I was 19 so me and cereal, I don't really have too much cereal. It just doesn't agree with me. I love it though. Lucky Charms is my favorite, but I can't.
When I come home to the States, I like to buy chocolate milk. And there's a store in California that sells a local dairy milk, but for half a gallon, it's like $7. So if I'm going to enjoy the chocolate milk, I better enjoy it while I can, you know, because $7
Right.
is a lot for a half a gallon of chocolate milk. Only because I miss it. And so when I get to the States, there's 2 or 3 things I do when I get to the States. As soon as I get off the airplane, y'all are gonna laugh.
McDonald's.
It'll either be McDonald's to get a burger or it'll be Burger King to get a burger. And depending on which one will determine whether I get a chocolate milkshake. And after I've done that, you know, I'm happy, totally happy. And the other thing I like to do is go eat at Texas Roadhouse when I come home. But this last time we didn't even make it to Texas Roadhouse.
We tried.
We tried and found out they were closed during lunchtime. Apparently, after the pandemic, the Texas Roadhouse in Lake City stopped being open for lunchtime through the week. So I'm like, so we never did get back there after that. Kind of irritated me a little bit because a lot of times me and Nikolaj like to strategically plan when we're going to go eat at a restaurant when it's not full of people. So we'll go, you know, like an hour before dinner hour or a couple hours before dinner. Even here we do it a lot.
You get better service.
Yep. And the food is just not rushed. Is she pacing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost got this block together, y'all. Just bear with me here for a couple more minutes while I get it all pinned together. And hopefully it will go together without any more problems. I'm having a little trouble with it because it's not pinning right. Very weird that it's doing this. And it's probably because I had already ripped it out once. And when you rip things out, it stretches it just a little bit. Are y'all enjoying tonight's live? Especially with this tutorial? I'm sorry I got off on the rant about money. Sister Chick says, when I buy a Costco chicken, I always pick up for my widower neighbor who doesn't cook. Aw.
That's really sweet.
That's really cool. What a blessing. I could say the last time I was in the States, I was shocked by some of the prices of meat, though.
We have a meat market that's really, really close by. It's about a 20-minute drive from the house, and the prices are so phenomenal. Like, you can get chicken for like $1 a pound.
Wow, that's really good, considering this day and age. I've been talking to Thomas, trying to get him to see if he can find some local meat market. You know, the kind where they get, they're not a box store, put it that way. But he doesn't, I don't think he really understands what I mean about meat market. I know he remembers me going to this place called Spires, which was owned by IGA, I guess. And they always had fresh meat because they bought from the local farmers. And they also bought their chickens from the local farmers. So they weren't these big chickens that are gross looking when you look at them. And I would go in there and buy all my meat from them. The only time I would ever buy meat from like Publix or Winn-Dixie, or I never bought meat from Walmart, period, actually. Just Publix or Winn-Dixie I might. It was only when they had ribeye on sale, whole ribeyes for $6.99 a pound. Then I would go up there and do that. But for the most part, I bought all of my meat, all of it, from Spires. And I bought enough that it would last us a month. I'm gonna wish I went the other way with this, I think. Dang it.
We do have a near-death experience when we were there last time.
What are you talking about?
The flat tire.
Oh yeah, the flat tire thing. Oh my gosh. I've kind of talked about it a little bit. So when I was in the States, when we were in the States this last time, my oldest daughter gave me the keys to her grandpa's truck because they rarely drive it. So it's like a 20-year-old truck that only had 55,000 miles on it. There's nowhere in this world that you find a truck with that little of miles on it. And we road tripped all over Florida with it. Then I went to Georgia with it. Yeah, and it was fine. But on our way back, we got about 2 hours from Lake City. And I felt a vibration on the front, and I was telling Nikolaj, I said, something's wrong. And I was in the far inside lane because it was a 3-lane, that part of Georgia. The next thing I know is that I felt something go clump, clump under the truck. And when I looked in my rear view mirror, I see tire crashing into the car behind me. So the right front tire of the truck lost the tread on the outer wall outside of it. And we were doing 70 miles an hour when that happened. And when it happened, the first thing I said is, can I get over? And Nikolaj's looking, yep, do it now. By the time I got all the way over into the emergency lane without flipping the truck, because I had already started reducing speed, I got it pulled off to the side of the road, and it's right as soon as we stopped, the tire blew out. It didn't blow out until we got stopped.
Had it just not been driven recently?
Yeah, they don't drive it a lot. So that particular
been dry rot in the tires.
Dry rot, yeah. So when Lynn came to help deal with it, because she drove the 2 hours to come help, she says, Mom, next time y'all come home, we're going to make sure there's new tires on the truck so this does not scare the crap out of all of us. I said, it scared the crap out of me, all right, because I was flying, 70 miles an hour, and it happening on the front end of the truck is not a good idea. Back end don't flip a truck, a front end will. If you panic.
Scared the crap out of me too.
Nikolaj's like, oh my gosh. I have to say that. Go ahead.
Now we just need borders.
That's it? Wow, look at that. Oh, it's pretty. Wait. Let me spotlight so everyone can see your handiwork. Okay, go ahead. Now show it to them.
So it's a bit tall.
Oh, that's going to be a great wall hang. Is it going to be a wall hanger or a table runner?
I'm going to do wall hanging.
I think that's going to be gorgeous wall hanging. Oh, I love it. And if that's a mistake, it's not a mistake because I think those flowers look great.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, as long as they're consistent, which they are. I mean, if I make them, it's like I said, if I make a mistake, but I make the same mistake, then it's just a design choice at that point, and I just let it go.
Yep.
There's no way I was undoing all of that. I would have had to undo all of it.
It looks lovely.
Yeah, I'm pleased with how it came out. I really am.
Yeah, me too. And I'm almost got this block fixed. I just need it fixed the center. I don't know what happened to the center. It's not lined up right. And to think I was going to get away with not having a mistake on this block. Boy, was I mistaken. This is good. This is okay because you guys get to see me doing this in real time. So you get to see that even I make mistakes.
I had to bust out the seam ripper as well today, so don't feel bad.
We're almost there, y'all. Just trying to get this lined up and fixed. And then we'll be fine. And then you'll get to see this block finished. All right. Okay, because there's nothing wrong with the block pattern itself. As far as skills are concerned, a beginner can do this block no problem. Just sometimes Katie is the one that gets a block turned around the wrong way. Because I'm a little bit angle challenged.
I'm about to cheat these borders. That's one thing about a wall hanging or a table runner is I don't really care if they're square. So I cheat my borders. I don't actually like measure. I just lay the fabric up against the edge and pin.
Sounds like a good plan to me. You know, usually if you do it right, you don't have a wave effect. That was what I was trying to say. I know somebody said you should not do that because you can get a wave effect, but if you do it right, you won't.
Yeah, on a smaller project, I really don't care. On a bigger project, I just go ahead and measure and take the average, and I'll do it that way. Just I've never had it wave though. I have cheated it before and just laid the borders on, and I haven't had a wave effect personally, but if it's something I care about, I try to err on the side of caution, I guess.
Yeah. The center where this is, yeah, y'all are gonna see this. I still don't have it quite lined up the way I want it, but I can always go back and fix it later. I'm not gonna rip it out one more time tonight. Nope, not happening. I want you to see this finished block. I think this block is beautiful.
It's definitely not as complex as I thought it would be just looking at it.
Yeah, it's not. I just turned it all that happened that made the original mistake is I turned one of the blocks the wrong way. That was me. That wasn't the pattern.
But even just like looking at it, like when I saw your community post and I was looking at the blocks, I was like, well, that just looks like too much to do.
Yeah.
But it really wasn't. It really wasn't.
Okay, now y'all can look at it again and see what you think. Oh, and let me spotlight it so you can really see it. Good.
Yeah,
Here we go.
I like that.
There it is, the French twist. Andrea says, I am back like a bad penny. Laugh out loud. Donna is sick, so no going live to. Oh, did we run over? We did by 3 minutes. Okay. Oh, then
Well, at least you got your block done, so.
Yeah. So I don't have to break my neck getting out of here then. Quiltanon says, love, love, love the blues.
Yeah,
really
that
good.
came out nice.
That is funny. It does look blue though, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That would make a gorgeous quilt. You know that? Andrea says, beautiful. I'm glad I picked that one. Great job, Katie. Your points are fabulous. Terry says, pretty, Katie. So did you guys like, all right, now my question, well, the poll, let me see what the poll says. All right. Did you enjoy the tutorial and then tell me in the chat what I should improve on? 83% said yes, 17% said no. So the ones that said no, what was not good about it? So I know what to do. If it was the way I was teaching it, or this is the first time doing this, so I'm going to be learning as I do it.
It's probably just the camera angle, to be honest.
Yeah, it probably is. They couldn't see what I was doing. That's the downside because I don't have the right equipment. Any comments, y'all? No? Maybe? Imaka? By the way, Imaka means maybe. Okay. What did you think about the tutorial, Chaunda?
I liked it. I mean, that was what I liked about it. What I liked about it was that when I saw the post in the community chat, I was looking at the block and I was like, yeah, that's because I'm in my easy era and I just want
Yeah.
to do things that are easy. And so when I was looking at that, I was like, yeah, nah, that's got too much going on. But then when I saw you put it together, I was like, oh, well, actually, it's really not.
Yeah. I thought that this would not be that hard. Now,
It
in that
isn't. It
other
wasn't.
one, that other one would have definitely been a challenge. And we are going to do that other one, but I'm going to make sure I know what I'm doing before we do it. So I'll probably do a test block before we do the tutorial.
Maybe when you do that one, I'll do it too, and
Okay.
test myself because
Yeah, because
I'm on easy street right now.
yeah, I think it would be worth the challenge just to see if if I can, you know how when you're doing these blocks, a lot of people understand the mechanics of it. A lot of people understand the mathematics part of it. I still don't really always understand the mechanics of it, if that makes sense. Sometimes I don't understand why it was done this way or why you have to do it that way. Why can't you do it this way? If that does that make sense?
That does. That does.
And that's the part I want. And I think that if I build simple blocks, medium blocks, intermediate blocks, or a more challenging block, maybe it'll help me finally understand the mechanics of it altogether. Because a lot of times I think I make mistakes because I don't understand the mechanics of it. Especially when I turn a block the wrong direction. And I do that a lot.
For me, those are just like brain fart.
Yeah, it's like your brain is like, I don't know. And I'm not going to I won't beat myself up about it. I just want to be better when I do it so I don't do it a lot. I mean, once in a while is okay, but half square triangles are my nemesis. But the weird thing is I like them at the same time.
For me, I always have to have a test block. So like I would have had like to make that, I would have had to have like the book right
Yep.
next to me to
Yep.
make that. And then I just would make one and then I would have to like duplicate that. But I'd have to check at every stage because for me, I tend to go too fast. Is honestly what I think my problem is.
Mhm.
And I think I know what I'm doing. I don't read the instructions and I just start barreling ahead. And then I realize, oh, because I wouldn't have made this mistake if I had just properly read the instructions.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. So this one that was that had the pinwheel in the middle, the above and beyond one that has all these technical things going on with it. You have a pinwheel that sits in the middle, and then you got a star that looks like it's going around the outside edge of the pinwheel. But then you have these four quadrants that host not only 2 4 patches, but they host 2 half square triangles that are put together to look like an hourglass. And when someone sees this, they're like, oh my God, that's just too much technicality going on in there.
So you can strip piece the 4 patches, so that's easy.
Yep.
And then
and then
these are half square triangles.
These right here are just half square triangles sewn like an hourglass. And then you got the pinwheel here in the middle, and then this outside is just a star. But when you look at it like this, it looks more like flying geese.
I found the AccuQuilt helped me a lot with how pieces go together because that whole system basically revolves around taking components and putting them together. to make new blocks,
Yeah.
it really helped me see how things fit together.
Yeah, and I have the EC8 software, so I guess I should sit down and mess with it a little bit. I thought about signing up for a couple of online classes to learn how to use the AC8.
Yeah, I have it too, and I don't know how to
You're
use
talking
it
about
either.
cutting. I want someone's got an Alki quilt to give to me, but I'm gonna have to wait till I come to US so I can bring
I
it
never
back.
use mine. I don't use that thing. I'm hoping it'll stay. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, maybe when I'm 60 or something,
Yeah,
if God lets me live that long,
yeah.
maybe it'll be harder for me to cut and I'll use something like that, but I really don't use mine.
Okay. All right. So Andrea says, Katie, I've been with you for a long while or a long time now, and your live streams have improved 100%. Next year at this time, you will be surprised where you were today. It's a process and you are doing great. Thank you. I appreciate that feedback. Okay. So here's the plan about the other 4 blocks. The railroad crossing was on that pole. I think a beginner could do this railroad crossing no problem. Then there was the nested bear paw. And then, of course, the one we were just talking about, the above and beyond. I think what I'll do is, I think that the railroad crossing would probably be the next one. This is more half square triangles, lots of them actually. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Wait. There's 12 of them in this one. But this nested bear paw is even worse than that. So
Are they the same half square triangle or are they all different fabrics?
This one that's showing is showing it using just 2 colors for the half square.
Okay.
You're not having to here, let me show you.
Okay. So
So
you can always like
it's a different
shortcut like
color.
the 4 at a time method or the 8 at a time method.
Exactly. You can do them all at once. Yeah. And the only other difference is doing these triangles, which is probably let me see what they're made from.
You're probably taking a square and cutting it diagonally twice, right?
Yeah, that's what it's showing, cutting it twice diagonal. So you're taking one size block to make those 4 triangles. Or if you want 2 different colors, then you'll use 2 of those blocks and cut them that way. Yeah. Okay. All right. So those that didn't know that the one I did tonight came from this book. If you don't have the book, but you want the book, it's called Quilt Makers 1000 Blocks. Amazon did have it. You can keep checking and maybe they'll get it back in there, and they may have even put it back on there. But if you also put it in Google, there is a couple of other bookshops online that sells this book. So I paid $30 for this, but this was back in 2015. But this is where my tutorials are coming from. And I know a couple people have bought the book or already have the book. So one more time, showing you the block. This is the finished block. And I'll take a picture of it and post it on the community tab and on the GreenlandQuilter group and inside the Discord. Sean has set me up a GreenlandQuilter. I don't know what you want to call it, but you can post pictures there. So, because there's some non-Facebook users that don't have a way of posting pictures. All right, so like I said earlier, I will be doing these tutorials every other week. So the next time I'll be doing another block from this book will be on February. Okay, where are we? I'm losing my mind. Today's Friday, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it'll be February the 21st. Okay. Now, tomorrow. Tomorrow is Jess night. Was so blessed with Jess. And we are going to start our first episode of our sew along called the Modern Magnolia Pattern. She's doing, I think, 2 colorways. And I'm going to switch this camera around so you can see where I am on colors. Okay. So this is I decided to go with this blue, dark, this is navy blue, not black, by the way. Because it has more movement in it, and because I'm using hints of red and yellow in it, it's going to be interesting. This is just to give you an idea of how the colors look, the color range. Now I still have these. I just haven't took this and made it with the red yet. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 3 more of this. 2 of them are going to have yellow, 2 of them are going to have red. I'm going to sew them together as a small square mini block, and I'm going to use it for learning hand quilting. But this one will definitely be the entire quilt. So tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Jess and I will start to sew on this. We're going to show you how the whole thing's made. Each block is, these blocks are all 1 block at a time. And there's a Y seam that goes down here. Because what you're doing is you're joining this to this 4.5 inch block. And so you start up here and you sew all the way down to about right here and you stop. And then this one you see here, it's going to go from here to here. And then you stop. Then you're going to add this piece that's going to go from up here down to here. Then you stop. Then when you add this piece, it's going to go down here all the way to the corner. And after you sew that, then you finish sewing this last part of this seam to make this block. And it sounds hard, but when I did it the first go around, I'm like, wow, it's not that hard. It was really, really easy to do. I didn't have any difficulty with it. So it starts at 4 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time. And Jess, I'm so blessed with Jess, will be with me. And so we're both going to be sewing this block and showing y'all how to do it. And it's called the Magnolia. And you can actually buy the Magnolia pattern from Etsy. It was on Cotton Cuts until 3 or 4 days ago. And I guess they must have did a purge of all the older patterns. And so it's no longer on there. But it's still on Etsy. And I have put the link to the pattern inside the description box of tomorrow's video. So if you go over to my YouTube channel page, click on live, and under live you'll see where the next live is scheduled to happen, which is tomorrow afternoon. Click on that, then look in the description box and you'll find the link there. And what I'll do to make it simpler for you is I'll go back over there after this live and I'll add the link also in the comment section where you can find it and pin it. That might make it easier to find it. Okay, and Mona, it starts at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, does anyone have any questions they want to ask before we stop this live? In the meantime, we're waiting on them to ask a question. Chaunda, let's talk about your channel one more time.
All right, so my channel is called Under the Needle. I basically do whatever I feel like doing. No, I'm kidding. So I mostly do quilting and crochet. So my channel is primarily me showing you guys what I'm working on. Sometimes I'll do a tutorial, and sometimes I'll just do an unboxing, or again, just show you guys what I'm working on, talk about my life and what I got going on, the difficulties that I'm having in my crafting and my organizational struggles and things like that. It's just me kind of talking.
I think
I
whatever
just have a good time.
Whatever works, I think, is what matters. And she's going to come sew with me some more, so I'm super looking forward to that because, I love sewing with Chaunda. Chaunda's a lot of fun. And I think we might have a collaboration coming up, huh, Chaunda? Where we
I
have
think
you
so.
and yeah, I think you and Denise are going to be sewing with me at the same time. And you'll get to know her because you two, I don't know that you two have never sewed together, correct?
No, no, I've seen her content and I know she's left comments on mine before, so I'm familiar with her in that way.
So this is going to be a real treat because they're going to be they're going to be meeting each other for the first time on a Zoom and a live stream. So make sure you stay tuned for that. That'll be the fourth Saturday of this month because that's the month she sews with me every fourth Saturday. And I don't know how many months that'll go on. I'm hoping indefinitely because I'm greedy like that. But also, I wanted to post in the channel so you guys can follow this link. I have posted February's schedule. It doesn't look like a calendar. I'm sorry. But it'll give you an idea of what we're going to be doing or what I'll be doing on my lives Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays and who's going to be there. And there's also some dates in there that I added that has to do with my hand quilting collaboration that'll happen with Sherry. Sherry's going to be teaching us how to hand quilt. There's also going to be a live on a Sunday with Danny of So Not an Expert. She and I are going to be broaching a tough subject that needs to be broached because people need an avenue of where they can come talk to people when they're having a bad day, or if they're overly sad, or what I call being in a funk. We're going to talk about mental health and it needs to be discussed. And so we're going to talk about it. We are not talking about doctors or nurses or medicine. We are going to talk about our mental, whatever you want to call, what we suffer from. And hopefully by the time we've had several of these lives, we'll have a list of what tools you can use to help you work through a bad period of time. And because I know I could use some tools in my toolkit on how to handle when I get in one of these funks where I absolutely don't want to do anything. You know, this is the nature of anxiety and depression and all these other things. So we're going to talk about that. That's on the live too. I just posted a link to my Living Greenland blog, and that has the schedule for February. So it's tentative. I put on the top tentative, so something could happen and it changes, like me getting sick. So yeah, and you know, it's listing everything I have planned for February, and we'll go from there. Babe, do you want to show anything before we hang up? Essa?
Ground floor is done.
Okay, hang on, y'all. Almost forgot about the man here.
Well, the ground floor is done here, so this is how it looks like from the front. That's okay. We can just it will be okay.
Look at
The pizzeria is here, and the jazz club is right here. But there's a pathway through here. This is the stage, and
the camera's not liking that, is it?
yeah, well, because
it's too dark.
Yeah. But for the moment, it's the ground floor is done.
Yep.
The entrance and the tickets and on tomorrow's live, I will work on the second floor or try to finish it so we have another live again.
Do you think you're going to finish it tomorrow night?
I don't know. We'll see.
Wow, you're going to be moving fast if you do. Okay, so anyhow, like I said, I posted the schedule for February. You can go up there and peruse it and look at it, see what you think. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or make a comment on the blog itself if you want to. If there's something that you don't understand about it. And Janice says, Lego, you need to get that sewing machine done. That's right, it does. We need a sewing machine kit from the Lego company. I agree with you because we would have one in a heartbeat.
That would be nice.
For now, we're going to enjoy this baby one that Nikolaj made me from his extra Legos.
That's cute.
Spare parts.
This is from Spare Parts. Isn't that cute? All right. Thank you for coming tonight. Remember, live, laugh, love, dream. What do you do from all that? You create something. So see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening, and thank you for coming to the live. Good night, everyone. And
Good night,
little one,
everyone.
Good night, too.
All right.
All right, let me log off of the live itself. Okay. Shall I put you on the